Redline Radio LLC is proud to partner with Growing Wings Adult Services for the creation of our brand new state-of-the-art production studio. Growing Wings Adult Services has been assisting adults with disabilities in the Northeast Ohio area for the past 5 years. For more information on how Lisa and the team at Growing Wings can assist your family, you can contact Lisa at 234-334-7547 today. Detroit Auto Parts is the official parts store of Red Line Radio LLC. They have 2 convenient locations on the east side. You can call 216-531-7373, or on the west side, call 216-398-7373. Mention Red Line Radio and receive 10% off your purchase. It's the official home and auto parts store of Red Line Radio LLC. If you need any custom t-shirts, banners, stickers, anything like that made, then you reach out to Incredible Keepsakes. As Diane always says, cherished moments are made to last forever. You can reach Incredible Keepsakes at 440-242-9648 or check out their websites at incrediblekeepsakes.com. And don't forget to mention that Redline Radio sent you.
This is really gross, but dirty trash cans can pose a serious health risk to you and your family. The pungent smell can attract rats and flies, not to mention maggots, both of which can contain dangerous diseases transferable to humans. Your dirty trash can is susceptible to harboring dangerous bacteria. Contact Brandon at Fitz Trash Bin Cleaning today at 440-752-1533 or find them on Facebook. Veteran owned and operated and eco-friendly. Again, call Brandon at 440-752-1533.
Cleveland! This is for you!
Talking about balls.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talking About Balls. I am Justin George, joined as always by Kyle Price and the man in the middle, Tim Buck2. Gentlemen, it's good to hear you. The mics are working a little bit better than last week. Everything seems to be in tip-top shape. The internet's better here at Studio 2. We are ready to fucking rock and roll. Gentlemen, how we doing?
Tim's head's huge. My God.
I was just thinking, my mic's not plugged in.
Objects appear larger on your screen than they are in real life. We have to put a warning up every time.
Such a giant head you have, Tim. It's so sexy to look at.
Yeah, so what's up, guys? How are we doing? Valentine's Day was yesterday. Everybody get lucky, I hope.
Got lucky. Got some nice dinner. Surprised with some nice chocolates and flowers. What about you? Anything?
Yeah, we went to the Velvet Tango Room, downtown, kind of, and close to downtown.
Fancy
drinks.
Tango.
Was not cheap. Each cocktail starts at during happy hour. The happy hour price was $12.
Really?
Yeah.
Were they good?
They were
what kind
fucking
of specials
delicious.
did they have? I mean, what kind of drinks did they have?
So the happy hour menu had 10 drinks. I got a couple off of it. I did the Tango Manhattan, which was their spin on a Manhattan.
Okay.
Very good. And then I did one that I'm not even going to pretend to pronounce. It's called I'm guessing here. It's probably wrong, but it's spelled the Rangpur Gimlet. It's
I like it.
RANGPUR space GIMLET. It's a gin drink. I like gin personally, so I went with it. Kind of tasted like key lime pie.
Was it good?
Fucking phenomenal.
Good?
It was
Nice.
everything was delicious.
What made you go to this place? Have you been there before, or did you just
No,
come across
actually,
it?
ironically enough, you friend of ours, Allie and Andrew Pasco. Shout out to the Pascos. I went out with them months ago, whatever. Tara and I went and saw a comedy show with them. And Andrew was talking about the Velvet Tango Room, and he's like, if you go, you have to get reservations for the back room. That's the fun place to go. There's a piano. It's a fun little swanky joint. So I was like, fuck it, Valentine's Day, let's do it. So
Nice.
Made reservations a few weeks ago, and we went there and checked it out. It was awesome.
Easy to make reservations for and everything?
Yeah, surprisingly, they accept reservations. And when I walked in, I told the guy, I'm like, party of 2 for $5.30, and the guy's like, oh, you don't need reservations on weekdays. We don't normally take them. I'm like, well, your website does, so I don't know what the fuck. I've never been here, so what do you want me to do about it? So it was all good. We sat in the back. We had a good time.
What'd you eat?
They don't have much food. They have small plates, so we did the goat cheese and prosciutto board or whatever you want to call it.
What is
Not a charcuterie. They have a charcuterie board. We didn't do that.
Charcuterie board.
It's very similar. Basically, they just put a bunch of fucking salted meats, cheese, honey, and fruit. So it basically is a charcuterie board, but they don't call it that.
So you ate like a squirrel and had good drinks.
Yes. Then we actually
Nice.
came here to downtown Berea and we went to Mike's Bar and Grill for dinner.
Perfect.
We were
Sounds
right
like
down
a
the
great
street.
night.
It was a really good time.
What about you, Tim? Did you get lucky with yourself, or did you get lucky with somebody?
Yeah, it was a lot of self love last night.
Nah,
Hey, nothing wrong with self-love, my man.
bought yourself dinner, set the lights down low, turn the candle on, and went to town, huh?
I did some comedy. Comedy was amazing. I did 2 rooms, and they went great. Both of them. The B side is always pretty good, and then I did Judd City Tavern. It was in Lakewood. First time being there, and it was great. I loved it. It was awesome. He actually
Getting out there, I like it.
Yeah, he actually asked me to come back and do 5 minutes versus 1 minute.
Hell
so.
yeah. Usually when Tim performs for 1 minute, he does not get asked to come back. So I'm happy for you, man.
You kind of walked into that one.
Yeah, that was too easy.
But hey, today's a special episode.
It is. Today is our 100th episode, hence the title,
100.
The Century. Realistically, we've probably done more than 100 episodes. We don't really keep track of everything. So for all I know, this is like episode 110, 105, give or take. But
It doesn't matter. We're
for
counting it.
statistical purposes and what it says on Apple podcasts, this is going to be our 100th episode.
So I've been there for 40 of them. I don't know how long is.
I mean,
it been a year?
We've been here a full year,
have,
but obviously
yes.
we haven't done every week. So
Our 1 year
I
anniversary
would
here was
say-
up last week. I saw it on our Facebook memories.
Yeah, I would say, Tim, you're about right. Probably 40 episodes here, give or take,
Yeah.
at
Look
least.
at you.
I'm 40. Oh,
And that's not even including, like, obviously we're not counting them as our full episodes, but we've done a lot of guest segments and
Yep.
like special things. So, I mean, like I said, we're realistically, we're at probably like 120 episodes.
We've
Because
gone live at random times.
yeah, I just like to talk and it doesn't matter. I don't keep track of anything. Half the time, like your buddy Jared last week was telling me about
Oh, yeah.
something I said a couple weeks ago. And I'm like, dude, I don't remember half the shit I say during a show. So if you enjoyed something, kudos. I have no idea what I say.
If you hate
most of
it,
the time.
I don't give a shit.
Either way, yeah. If you loved it, great. If you hated it, great. When the mics get cut off, I literally blank canvas. Everything goes away.
that's kind of how comedy is sometimes. Like, obviously, my set is my set, but anything that I just made up, like, it's gone. Like,
Yeah.
unless it's recorded, I don't.
Yeah, if
remember
I
it.
don't have any way to go back, I'm never going to remember it. Like our friend Garen, who we're actually seeing this Saturday, he always says that to me. He makes jokes and claims that he thinks I write material before I hang out with them. And I'm like, how the fuck would I be able to make a joke on the spot about something you did in advance? Like, how could I create that?
You should make a point this weekend to, when he says something stupid or something funny, pause, look at your phone, be like, hold on, yep, there it is.
I'd
And
be
just
like,
make the
I think I
joke.
have a note about this and just do it.
I have a situation in my phone about this. Yep, there it is. Boom.
He always says that. He's always like, I think you prepared some stuff. I'm like, how the fuck would I prepare? I had no idea. It's all spontaneous. And half the time I don't even know what I say.
It just rolls off the tongue, man. Just rolls
Because
off the tongue.
he's got a weird memory too, where like months will go by and he'll be like, I remember last time you said this and this, and I'm like, I don't fucking remember that at all.
Or half the time he assumes we're going to say something and we don't, and then he brings it up. Now it's a topic of conversation.
Yeah, that's what he does. He's tricky. But anyway, let's get right into it.
Into
Tim,
the 100th episode.
we are actually big news too. We are moving to bi-weekly for a short period after tonight.
Hallelujah.
We go all in for football season. We did not skip a single week. We made do with internet issues, with the weather. Actually, this winter has been pretty good, so I
Yeah,
can't complain
pretty
about
tame.
that. But had there
travel
been,
issues. I was in different states at certain times and we did shows.
hypothetically, had the weather have been bad, we wouldn't have missed it. Because that's how dedicated we are
Never
for this
missed a show. We had to travel to different locations. We had to, on the fly, make things work. We actually went in grainy 1980s dial-up internet footage the one day where it was all like
unwatchable. After the fact.
unwatchable to watch.
And we
but powered through.
We should redo that episode to an extent because I was wearing a fucking sweet banana shirt.
You were.
And nobody could tell.
You were.
Kyle had on an elf sweater.
I did. I had a nice
and
Christmas
nobody
sweater.
could tell. Tim had on the sweater vest. Nobody could. Well, everybody could tell because he
It's like
wore
we
that a
came
few
through,
times
like,
after.
We
But
came through
that's
Technicolor,
beside the
basically.
point.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you couldn't even tell I had bananas on my shirt. I'm offended by that, so we're gonna have to redo that episode to an extent. It's not. That was technically our Christmas episode. We're not gonna go back and do a Christmas episode, but I think we should dress for a fun occasion.
Be festive.
We've got St. Patrick's Day coming up. We could do something festive for that.
I could wear a banana shirt for that. I don't give a shit. I love
Perfect.
it. Well, actually, we won't be doing an episode that week. I already talked with Tim about that. That episode, we'll figure the schedule out down the line after today's episode. But the way it would technically work out was we would have a show on the 15th. That's the OG's birthday right here. And I love all the fans, but I'm not doing a fucking show on my birthday. That's without question not happening. So we will be switching some dates up. I let Tim know that if he wanted to do some comedy, that the 15th would be available for him. So
What, do you turn 34?
34 this year. I'm getting
Woof.
old. I'm officially an
You
old man.
Fuck.
Yeah, I got grays in my beard and shit.
Dude, I've got grays in my beard. I got grays in my balls. I got grays everywhere, man. It's crazy.
You're covered in gray.
It's
The lower part
everywhere.
of your beard
It's
is just
every-
officially white.
It's all just white at this point. I mean, there's no point in dying it. Just live with it. It's fine.
Yeah, the bottom of your beard looks like a Taylor Swift concert, just full of white.
It's like what's
That's all it is.
It's like I dipped it in wrench dressing and just hangs there.
Young
so.
buck. I wish I felt young, Dave. I might be technically young, but I feel old as fuck.
Those mornings, getting up in the morning, it's getting harder and harder sometimes. Like, you get out of bed,
I've never been a morning person though, so that's always been a thing for me.
the things that crack and like just make noises
My
in
knees
the morning.
snap when I stand up. It
Your
sounds like
ankles. I'm walking down the steps for me. It's like
it sounds like I have Slim Jims in my pockets when I get up. Everything just goes crunch, crunch. Like,
Macho
no, that's-
Man, snap into
That's
a
just
Slim
me.
Jim.
I'm gonna be joining Macho Man soon. It feels like.
You're gonna run into a tree.
Yeah, no, he had a heart attack.
Yeah,
would
but he
you
ran
be
into a
George?
tree.
Oh yeah, I
That's
just mean
it.
I'll be dead. I'll be joining him in death.
So you would be George of the Jungle.
Technically,
True,
yeah, they'll find my body out there at least when
Somewhere.
my car is lost in the woods.
Part of his body there, part of his body there. It's
Salt
okay.
and pepper. Do you walk or do you fall down the stairs, Kyle?
Do you walk or do you fall down your stairs? Oh, I walk down my stairs, Tara. I haven't fallen in my house yet in stairs, but it has carpet. It's not wood. So
Yeah,
I'm
the
good.
wooden steps at the lake house. And you were also, we just came in from the hot tub or
Yeah.
something, so there was water
I was
involved.
also deeply intoxicated, I believe. So
true.
it all kind of adds up. It's fine.
Falling downstairs isn't the worst thing in the
The
world.
imaginary lake house that we've gone to in the past before.
And I mean, we're all prone to injuries here. I told the guys before the show started, you might be able to tell. I don't know. I got hit in the eye today by a locker, so I have a black eye, or it's going to be turning into a black eye.
Let's get the truth out here. Tara's on here. Tara, what did he say to you that you have to bitch
I didn't even
slap
see
him?
her today.
Oh.
Honestly,
What'd you do?
I got hit at work. I haven't even seen her. I said goodbye to her this morning, and that was the
Like,
last time I
damn,
saw
Tara's
her.
got a mean left. I thought she was right-handed, but she came around with the left.
She didn't me with anything. Damn, Dave fell down the stairs too. Jesus, you old guys. At least I can walk down steps. I got that going for me.
I will say
I
that
don't have
my
steps in
falling
my
down
day.
the stairs, I slid down the stairs, but stood at the end like I made it graceful. So
Yeah,
give
just
me points for
busted your
landing.
ass.
Oh, dude, the next day that black and blue mark in my ass cheek was
34, try 40. Come on, 34 is the new 40. I think I read that somewhere. I'm fucking old. I feel it.
you are old.
All right, well, we are going to get right into it, and we wanted to start the show with our bet segment because
Yes.
we want to promote some games. Some of them, most games start at like 7:30. We wanted to get the bets in early. So for those of you at home that like using apps, if you guys want to follow along with us,
well, those who don't know yet either, maybe they didn't tune in last week. We officially made the announcement, but today's the official start.
yeah, technically our contract did start today with BetStamp. That is BETSTAMP. Download it on Google, Android, everywhere, Apple, everywhere you can get an app. Download BetStamp. Use referral code BALLS, BALLS. No trickery in that. Literally just the word balls.
Kahunas.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, if you
Use
type in
it.
Kahunas, you might not get the credit we need. So type in, make sure it's balls.
You
But
can actually go to their website too and put the code balls in as well, I believe.
yeah.
You can use their website. The website actually has more into it than the app does.
Yeah, it's a little more detailed, but I like the app just because it's quicker for me to just go back and
Absolutely.
forth. But what we wanted to do this evening to start the show is get our bets in, because if any of you guys at home want to bet along with us, here are some picks that I'm making tonight. And as always,
Disclaimer.
bet responsibly.
We're not professional bettors by any means.
Yes.
We're good, but we're not great.
However, every time we make a bet, at least me and Kyle, I'm sure I can speak on behalf of both of us, we go to BetStamp. And when you go to BetStamp, it's really easy because I like making money. I don't know about you guys. If you guys don't like making money, this probably isn't the segment for you. However, I like making money. And when I make my bets, Kyle and I were actually talking about a bet earlier. We're making a bet tonight on a game. That's not even our picks for the day. And we both looked, and he's telling me what the spread is on one app. And I said, well, hang on BetStamp, it says if you go to this app, it's cheaper. Or I'm sorry, you make more money. The odds are better.
Far more
So-
money, actually.
Yeah, so that's what I do. I go on there. If I have to transfer some money around from different apps, I do it. But BetStamp will tell me where to make the most money, and that's what I do. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. And my first bet of the night, I'm parlaying these, by the way. For those of you guys should know what a parlay is. But my picks that I made on BetStamp, first and foremost, I went with Kyrie Irving to go over 5.5 assists. Now, the great thing about BetStamp, guys, if you take a look at that, what it tells you where you're going to get the best odds. And there's a substantial difference between these odds if you look at it. Look right underneath right there. So you've got Caesars at plus 102. Plus 102 means that you're making extra money. If you bet $100, you make 102. So that's positive money coming back to you. Now, when you look at that, right underneath it, Barstool has the same odds of over 5.5 assists at -112. They have that as like a big favorite. So obviously you're going to want to go to Caesars. And if you go to Caesars at +102, that's really good odds. And now not only am I taking Kyrie Irving at +5.5 assists, I am also taking Nikolai Jokic at over 11.5 rebounds. I think he is going to eat on the glass tonight. And I'm going to parlay both of those. Now, if you look at Jokic, his best odds, you're going to see his actually come from FanDuel. Now, no, you're good. The Jokic picture is having some technical difficulties right now, but I can assure you it looks just like this, except instead of Kyrie, it says Nikolai Jokic, and instead of, there we go.
It is.
So it looks just like that. Now, the other cool thing, too, is they tell you, if you notice, the spreads are different. So you've got 11.5 on FanDuel. Barstool has him at 12.5. So that means he has to get a 13th rebound in order to hit this. Obviously, he only needs to get 12 at FanDuel. So this is the way to do it. And if you look at it, DraftKings has him at 12.5. That's kind of high, in my opinion. Caesars has him at 12.5. I like him at 11.5. So this is kind of where you look around and go, okay, FanDuel has him here. And then I would go to FanDuel and look at Kyrie's, and then you combine the two. But BetStamp's going to tell you where the best odds are for anything. For this instance, I'm just using Jokic and Kyrie for my parlay of the night. You guys can do whatever you want. You can look up by player, by game, anything you want to look up. BetStamp has it, and it's going to tell you where the best value is. So use BetStamp. My parlay for the night is Kyrie Irving over 5.5 assists, Nikolai Jokic over 11.5 rebounds. Do it. If you want to play along,
those are solid picks.
Bet responsibly.
I like that.
Please bet responsibly.
So I also made some picks tonight. So here's my picks. I went through. I was trying to find the best. I tried to parlay them together.
Sure.
When I first started when January 1st hit, I was making these massive parlays. I was like, all right, I'm going to go with like a 7-leg parlay. Oh my god, look at that potential money I could win. It's great. I realized that doesn't work very well because after you add something like 5, 6, 7, it's like you're at a plus 3,000. You're like, yeah, that's probably not going to hit. They do hit, but not all the time.
I had one the other day, which was a fucking heartbreaker. I had a 21-leg parlay.
Yep.
I hit 20 out of 21. The only one I missed was I needed, what's his name, from Julius Randle from the Knicks. I needed Julius Randle to get 20 points. They were blowing out the Nets. He had 18, and they took him out of the game with 6 minutes to go. I just needed fucking 2 more points, and I would have hit a 21-leg parlay.
I wish I would have screenshot it and brought it in, but there's a T-shirt making its rounds. I've seen it on Twitter of the Don't Bet group. Of the guys you want to avoid trying to bet
I saw
on.
that, and it's got names
hilarious.
on there.
Like people that I've gotten screwed with so far. But so I did some research tonight. So I put a couple parlays together, and here's some of my picks that I have tonight. So we have Michael Porter Jr. tonight. His 3-point field goals. Couple different sites have just odds spread all over the place. So the one I went with, and I'm sure we get up here in a second. Yeah, I sent it to you.
Technical difficulties.
That's okay. I'll walk through it. It's no big deal. You see how the layout is. But a couple different sites have it at minus 147. Some have it at minus 137, 140. I'm going with Bet365. There you go. That's it right there. He'll pull it up in a second here. Bet365 has it over 2.5 3 points, which is 3, at minus 130. So I'm getting the best bang for my buck out of that. But it's Bet365. And I actually have a lot of money in Bet365 because I've been doing that 10-leg challenge on that site. So
that's the way to do it.
And side note, I actually won a lot of money at the Super Bowl. I bet that Kelsey would score a touchdown and walked away with a decent amount of money. I was drunk when I made the bet. I'm glad I made it though.
It's a pretty safe bet.
Yeah,
Travis Kelce is the only one who scores for Kansas City consistently.
But it was an amazing it was an amazing night for bets on Super Bowl. I made some good money. But so tonight I'm going with Bet365 over 2.5 minus 130. For Michael Porter Jr. to get the threes, and the other one I put is our boy LeBron. Well, your boy LeBron for rebounds. Every site has it 7.5 rebounds tonight. Some has him as high as a minus 115, but the best bang for the buck tonight is going to be FanDuel minus 105 to hit over 7.5 rebounds. So that's 8 rebounds to hit.
Should be doable.
I think it's very doable. Yeah, absolutely.
And then Michael Porter Jr. The crazy thing with that, and we'll see here when Tim shows the pictures on the for everybody. If he doesn't get 3 threes, that's like it's not expected to happen. That's the underdog. Right. That's crazy. That shows you how well he's been shooting the ball.
And I have to say a funny side story while we're loading these pictures.
Because I've had plenty of players where I'll take them to like hit 2 threes, and it's a guy that like usually can put up a ton.
Yeah.
Like the other night, I lost a parlay because I had Darius Garland hitting 1-3.
Yeah.
He had 0 for the night.
Yeah.
And that dude hits like 4 a game. So I was like, okay, I threw it in just as a little extra perk to the pot, and he didn't do it. So it's crazy to show you how good Michael Porter Jr. is shooting the ball right now.
It's funny you say the Garland thing. So the funny story is, friend of the show, Dave Cleary, has been for the last week or so putting like $100, $200 down on the bet for Garland to hit 3.5 threes or
Okay.
2.5 threes. And he's been basically doubling his money.
And did not work the other night.
So he went all in. I think he put like $300 or $400 down
On the Spurs
on,
game?
on the Spurs game, where he's like, yeah, he can do it. It's like 2.5, I believe. So it hit 3 threes. 0 for 4.
That is rough.
And that, my friends, is gambling. I mean,
Tim,
that's,
can you change the screen over here for us? Yeah, unfortunately, that is gambling. And I mean, like you said, I've had multiple times who the guy on the top of my shirt that I would wear is Jalen Brunson.
yes.
Because he has cost me, not him. I don't want to say it like that. I'm not trying to sound like I'm Tim Donahue, or however you say his name. But Jalen Brunson not hitting threes has single-handedly cost me multiple
Right.
parlays.
You know,
but it is what it is. That's the fun part of gambling, is like it makes you watch games you would never watch. I look at stats that I would never pay attention to.
The guy who screwed me the most this year so far is the guy out of Orlando, the rookie.
Paulo Banchero.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
There's
So-
multiple times I've tied him into a parlay because it's like, how is he not going to get 3.5 assists, or how is he not going to get 5.5 rebounds or whatever?
So
he
his
just comes up
teammate,
one short.
Franz Warner or Wagner, however you say his fucking name, he has screwed me multiple times on parlays. Like I did one the other night where I just needed him to get 10 points, and he ended with 7.
Yeah.
He averages like 15 plus a game. So I thought, okay, I'll take him at 10 because that's just, again, an easy little add-on, a little bonus, a little sprinkle.
Right.
Doesn't do it.
Yeah,
But again, that's just gambling. Sometimes guys are just off.
You roll the dice.
Yeah, it's cool. And honestly, I understand if you're spending money gambling, you don't want to lose. It's not fun to lose. I get it. However, it does really introduce you to more teams and players that you're not really familiar with, because then you start to do a little research. And for me as a fan, it's huge. I love it. I've been betting pretty much every day since it became legal in Ohio, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself on Thursday and Friday because I don't really like college basketball.
I've only been betting college basketball because
When someone tells me to, when someone I
we've
trust.
been following somebody that gives us ideas and stuff like that to bets to make. So I've been betting it because it's been working, right?
Yeah.
But I could not begin to tell you how to pick them because there's been weeks where I've done like 10 parlay picks on huge favorites. And
Yeah,
I'm
that's what I would
thinking
do.
-4, -500 favorites, and there's still that one team that screws you.
I used to look for basically double-digit spreads, and I'm like, okay, this team's supposed to win by like 12 points. I'm like, they must be good. I don't know much about them, but they must be good. I take them, and then they end up losing outright, and I'm like,
Right.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know I don't know enough about it to continuously gamble on it.
Same with hockey. I've taken favorites in hockey, and
Yeah,
they
and
always
it doesn't work out.
short. Or,
So what I might do is I might just have to take the weekend off. I think.
oh, we can be okay.
No,
You
no,
can
I
be, like
won't.
scratching, like
I might actually have to talk to my wife and
Oh,
like live
shit.
life. It's gonna be tough, but yeah. After tonight, there's a lot of NBA games. I do have multiple parlays going. All thanks to BetStamps Research doing all that work for me to help me make as much as I can. And then there's like 3 games tomorrow night, and then it's a long week with
Long
no
week
NBA basketball.
long week of betting cricket over in India, basically.
If I wake up, if I'm having insomnia and I've got to look at it in the middle of the night and there's a live game going, maybe I do fuck around with it. We'll see what happens.
You got some what is it? There's some like midnight tennis matches that
Yeah,
go on.
why not?
1 o'clock in the morning, you're waking up to see if you hit it or not.
I did that a few weeks ago. Actually, it was really late. It was like 2 a.m. I was getting ready to go to bed, and I looked. I had a bonus bet for DraftKings, and it was like live in-game bet only. Expires tomorrow at 11 a.m. I'm like, fuck, what the hell's gonna happen at 11 a.m.? I can't in-game bet. And there was a random soccer game going, so I just picked the team and went to bed. I woke up, it lost, but I just picked something because I was like, fuck it, it's free money. I'm gonna try it. And Mike, that's a great point. Baseball should be really interesting. I can't wait to bet on that when that kicks off. There's going to be, tons of games every single night. Really good shit to bet on. I don't really know. I'm not familiar with.
I'm not sure how to what to bet in baseball.
Yeah, I'm not familiar. I know they're like, I've done it before where when Aaron Judge was trying to break the home run record, I was betting on him hitting a home run every night.
on the illegal sites, right?
They're very legal for me. They were fine. They worked out.
But guys, really seriously, if you haven't done it yet, download BetStamp today. It's free. When you download it, put the code word balls in a referral code. We greatly appreciate it. And then dig into it. There's so many options. There's stuff that we're still figuring out today day. That's amazing. Like my favorite ability, and I know this is something that they're adding on to it more and more. But the ability to connect your already live accounts that you are gambling on into the app, and it will tell you exactly what you're betting on that site, what bet you have going on for the day, your bet out and potential win back, and it keeps track of it. Actually, it keeps a history of all your bets, which is amazing. And for people who like to know where you're at and what you're betting on each site, this is the app for you. And again, it's a newer app. It's just starting. Some more features are coming. They like to listen to. They took some advice from us. They asked for some tips and whatnot when they were doing our onboarding experience, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And they took that into consideration. So trust me, they listened to the user. Download it, give it a try. Let me know if you have any questions. Let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the number one thing I can't recommend enough is go to the site or go to the app. You don't have to pay. It's not a betting site. It's not anything that's going to want your credit card information, things like that. Go to it and just learn, explore, use code BALLS, of course. Step 1, use code BALLS. But when you're there, just learn, experience some shit. It really helps everybody learn about gambling.
Absolutely.
So take a look. Check it out. So that's our segment for betting. I think we're going to name that Predict Heads. I think that's a funny name.
Predict Heads. I like that.
Yeah, Jess says the same thing Tara said. Tara said the audio is off. It sounds like we're going 10 times faster than normal and it's staticky. So we're having some audio issues.
Yeah, I just went on there to listen to it.
Okay. Well, we'll try to figure that out, everybody. Apologies. To make it up for bet stamps so we don't get breach of contract, we'll talk about them later again. Well, I mean, obviously, we're going to mention BetStamp a lot. We're really excited to partner with them, and we hope this is a long-term relationship that we have with them. We're really excited. Talking about balls before the year started, we had mentioned to each other about how we wanted to get some sponsorship this year. We feel like nearing 100 episodes, we know what we're doing. We're a pretty good established show. The audio is now better. All right, awesome, guys. Thank you guys for letting us know in the comments. Everybody else that didn't let us know, what the fuck? You're probably you guys are all the same people that didn't come out to Lucy's last week. You fucking uptight cunts. You could have come and hang out with us and had a couple drinks, but instead you sat at home tickling your pickles. And
I was going to say thanks for not coming, but uptight cunts work too.
Yeah,
that works.
I go straight to the fucking gut or straight to the heart. Fuck you, people that didn't show up last week.
Let's circle back around real quick because we're going to spend
absolutely.
more time on it. So BetStamp, if you guys didn't hear us clearly before, new sponsor of Talking About Balls. Today is our first official day talking about them. We've been using the app now for 2 weeks. Guys, Download it. It's simple. It's easy. If you like to bet, if you like to make money, if you like to get the best odds for your money, trust me, it's worth your time. Connect your accounts. More accounts are coming soon. I've made extra money off of this site by going to the right location. I know Justin has. Justin likes to move money around, as he said before, based on what BetStamp is telling him. And trust me, guys, it's worth your time.
Yeah, long story short, I won't bore you guys with details, but I tend to keep a set amount of money in certain apps. There are apps that I frequent way more.
He won't tell amount because Tara's watching.
Yeah, I don't talk financials because Tara's watching. I got Uncle Sam watching. I got AMP, used code BALLS. And I looked up a specific bet that I wanted to make, and I looked for my best odds, and I went, okay, if I use this app, I'm going to make the most money. So I transferred money out of one account, put it over into this other account, made the bet on there. And of course, the payout was an extra $30. And it may not sound like much, but imagine if somebody gave you $30 a day or, $10 a day. If you're finding ways to just increase money you're hoping to already make, why not do it? That's what BetStamp is there for. So check it out. And again, today we went kind of vanilla. I know I picked assists and I went with rebounds. Kyle went with 3-pointers and rebounds. You can find anything. Like when we were speaking with Josh, when he was showing us the app initially, he was showing us Super Bowl props. And he's like, if you want to take Travis Kelce at 2+ touchdowns, like they do all that. It's detailed. It tells you everything. You can do combinations. You can do rebounds plus assists. It has point spreads. It has games. It has money lines. It has over-unders. It has everything you want. And as Kyle said, there's the bet link where you can sync up your accounts, which they're working on getting all of them acclimated to the app. They're coming soon. But for right now, you can do Caesars and you can do DraftKings in Ohio, at least, Northeast Ohio. I'm not sure if it's a regional thing, but you can sync up your apps. And as Kyle said, you can check and see if you made bets on DraftKings, it's going to keep track of that and tell you right on the one app. You don't have to go, okay, I got to log into DraftKings, check where my bets are at. Then I got to go to BetStamp, do this. Just go to BetStamp, one stop. Nice and easy.
And the history part is what I love. I'm a nerd when it comes to like just data, but I can go
Yeah.
back and see what bets I made last week. It kept a track of them, you know.
Yeah, that's the great thing. You
My
can go
losses,
back and
my
look.
wins. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Just use it. Go to BetStamp. Download the app on your Google Play Store. It's in the Apple Store, whatever, wherever you can download an app, and use code BALLS. All right, that's Predict Heads. It's our new segment. I like that name.
We need to have BetStamp's logo in one corner and then our
Predict
logo
Heads.
for Predict Heads in the other.
I'm okay with that.
Good
We
idea.
can make that work.
Make it work.
Speaking of our bets, the college game that we were told to go with today, not going well. The team that we were taking at -5.5 is currently down 11 in the first half. So not a great start.
Get it together.
Not a great start, but again, that's the joys of betting. You win some, you lose some. Hopefully you win more than you lose. Speaking of winners and losers, there could only be one, and that was the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs win Super Bowl, whatever the fuck was it, 54, 53? I don't know. I don't keep up with the numbers. Does it matter? Does anybody actually sit out there and like call it by its name? I just call it the Super Bowl. Like, yeah, the Super Bowl's on Sunday.
I just call it the year Super Bowl, like 2023 Super Bowl.
Yeah, like we have friends that are big wrestling fans, and like some of them could probably tell you like, oh, the greatest match I ever saw was at WrestleMania 13 between this guy. Like, I don't fucking remember. I don't even know what WrestleMania is coming up in 2 months.
Actually, WrestleMania 13 had Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. It was a great
That's probably why that's the one that came to mind, because that one gets talked about a lot.
I was like, wait a minute here.
But I had no idea. Like, I love Stone Cold, my favorite wrestler of all time, and I couldn't even tell you that he was.
I have no idea what's
13.
coming up in a month or so.
Yeah, well, what year is it for? I mean, who gives a shit? I just say WrestleMania is coming. Who cares about the year?
Yeah.
Like, they don't do it for any other sports. You're not like, oh, it's the NBA Finals 87. Like, what the fuck? Nobody wants to hear that.
We're gonna be older and be like, it's WrestleMania 100. Like, okay, that's great.
I don't think I'm making it that. But what are they at right now? Will I make it to WrestleMania 100? Maybe they start doing
at WrestleMania like 40.
Yeah. Unless they start doing 2 a year, I ain't making it to WrestleMania 100. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, I mean, the Super Bowl was really fun. It was a good game. You've got the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. We briefed it last week when we were at Lucy's. We went over our picks, and of course, Kyle
WrestleMania
sounded off
39.
again. Tara's blaming Tim. Yeah, so WrestleMania 39 this year?
Yes.
Jesus.
Yeah, well, I'm not making it to 100.
Yeah, no chance.
No
There's no. I'll be
fucking
lucky if
way.
I make it to 50.
Maybe 50.
I'm talking 50, WrestleMania 50, not my age at 50.
I think
'cause
that Undertaker will still be wrestling at WrestleMania 50. It's only 11
he'll have a
years from now.
cameo. Yeah, he'll be all right.
Yeah, roll him out in a fucking like back of one of those like motorcycles where like it has like a tripod, whatever. Once it's over here,
He'll be
once-
fine. The sidecar.
Yeah,
He'll just come out a
sidecar, there
little.
you go.
He'll be carrying Paul Bearer in the urn because Paul Bearer's
I'm
actually
going to
dead.
throw this out there right now. For every time our sound messes up, we're taking $1 off our stage fees. For those of you who are watching it from Redline, just throwing it out there.
Yes, this goes directly to Dave. We want money off our rent, if you will.
This is
These
this
technical
is
difficulties
getting a little old.
are outrageous. All right, it's better for now. I give it 5 minutes. And Tara, how dare you blame Tim? Shame. We don't blame Tim for it. Tim has nothing to do with it.
Exactly.
All I know is there was a producer here before we came here that is known to create some technical difficulties. I won't name names, but his name may rhyme with P. That's all I can say. That's all I can say.
In his defense, I don't think he produces their show.
No, I know. I'm just fucking around. I had that joke in my head and I knew it was going to make Tim laugh, so I went with it. And sure enough,
It worked.
nailed it.
So
But yeah.
the team you picked won.
Correct. Kyle
The
is
team I picked did not win.
nope
They were winning.
for a little bit.
I had hopes.
However, you also would have had to get the score correct. You needed to get two. You needed 2 miracles. Kyle needed lightning to strike in the same place twice, and that's not always
doesn't happen.
Doesn't happen. So
What score did you say?
I believe it was like he had 52 or something like
No,
that.
I went 52.5 total points.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, so
Yeah.
52 and a half total points, and it had to be within 3, either under or over.
It was within
And-
3, and it was way the fuck over 52.5.
Yes, very much so. Yeah. So yeah, he had no chance either way, even if Philadelphia would have come back and won the game. But what did you guys think of the game? I thought overall it was a fun, entertaining game. I think the turf really,
Yeah, they got what the hell?
it was really ugly to see that. Like that's
It got worse after halftime because everything got compressed down.
for the grandest scale, the biggest show event in the world. I mean, the Super Bowl is the biggest event of the year worldwide every year consecutively. for that to be the display of the field, I feel like that's embarrassing for the pun intended. That's a black eye for the NFL.
So people, you heard the conspiracy theory, right? Of course, that's out there. That the NFL
No, I have not watched Grapevine this week
has
yet.
been well, everyone's been bitching all year to get grass, right? They want grass, and grass.
Sure.
And that's what that field was. I mean, they shipped it out every day, brought it back in.
Yeah, they spent $800,000 on that
so
field.
it grew correctly and it was watered and everything. And then they have this shit. So now it's like everyone's saying, well, the NFL basically said, here's your grass. Still sucks. Now what do you want to bitch about? And it was
so the conspiracy is that they sabotaged it.
Yeah, that they say that it was here's your field and
to get people off their back, basically.
Exactly. So it's like, look, we gave you grass and still sucked. So what else you want to do?
Well, I look forward to any and all conspiracies about the Super Bowl this Friday night at the Grapevine. That, of course, is Redline Radio Studio 1 from 6 to 8.
I wonder if the Gematria math added up for that score.
He actually messaged me immediately because on the show you said that the field goal had to hit the pole and go in.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
So he right away was like, he's like, look at that shit. It happened. Kyle knew it. Like the Gematria had happened. And at the time I was like, I don't think it was right.
It was just hit the field goal.
Okay.
Yeah. Which I made money off of.
Yeah. I mean, congratulations. He doinked the shit out of that.
He doinked the shit out of it.
But I was under the impression that it had to go in.
Yeah.
So,
So I did too.
I was like, oh damn, Kyle didn't win anything.
Yeah. No, I just had to hit it. So I looked at my account and I had profit from it. So
there you go.
There you go. Boom.
And I'm sure you'll hear more about some conspiracies this Friday night.
Like holding, non-holding, holding, non-holding.
No, actually, I think this week he's doing that H2N movie that Kyrie talked about. That got Kyrie in all that trouble. Grape is going to be talking about. So when Grape gets canceled on Friday, you guys will know why. But
this would be Grape's third time being canceled, though. So.
This month, I think he gets he has to make a new Facebook account every other day.
He gets canceled multiple times.
So yeah, Grape will be going over that movie this Friday, I believe, was what he was talking about.
Tune in, friend of the show.
So tune in, friend of the show. Yeah, of course. Grape, you're always welcome on with us from 6 to 8 Friday night, Studio 1. Right after him, Money's Crazy Mind, 8 to 10. On Saturdays, you've got Unscripted. Yes, they are the current champs. Again, we know Lee fudged the numbers. We know Dave paid him off. We know they sabotaged our audio and our video quality to where we couldn't do our normal shows. We had to do shows on Sunday. We had to move studios.
It's weird. Their show was perfectly done on Saturday. Like the sound was
I noticed
great.
Saturday morning they never have any technical issues. But when we go on,
yeah.
We'll have to look into that.
Isn't that suspicious?
A little bit.
Suspicious. They say.
I mean, I get it. Everybody wants to be talking about balls. I fully understand. Let's see. We come here to Redline Radio. We start dominating. So what does Dave have to do? He's got to go get a partner. He's got to do a show with his friend because he's like, I got to get some numbers here, and I can't do it on my own. I need help. So he gets Adam.
Brings in Adam.
They bring in Adam. They do the show. They go, shit, our numbers aren't going to be talking about balls. Let's fuck with their equipment. And now we can't do our normal shows. Their numbers go up a little bit.
No, but then guess what? We still beat them. But then he's like, here, Lee, here's a 10.
Yeah.
Here's a 10.
Here's a little extra, Lee.
Here's a little cashola.
And then, I mean, look at it. I lost the NFL picks bet. So what's my punishment? It's going to be, hopefully, Tattoo Therapy Inc. We go and do a live remote so I can get a tattoo. But who's going to be doing a live remote at the tattoo studio before me?
It's not talking about balls.
Unscripted, because they want to be us so fucking bad. They're even taking our ideas.
Central going
I hear they're changing their name next week. It's called Talking About Unscripted. It doesn't even make sense, but they're just stealing our fucking name too. So more power to them.
I can't wait till they get to the episode of talking about unscripted balls.
I look forward to Dave wearing a JG hat, and it's not going to make any sense. Everyone's going to be like, the fuck? That's not even your initials. But all seriousness, though, you can check out Unscripted from 10 to noon on Saturday mornings. And then after that, Mel was on the Super Bowl show on Sunday. He said him and us, he's going to be back. He's coming back. He didn't give a Gen from 8:30 to 9:30. TMI, too much information from 10 to midnight. That's your Saturday night. On Sundays, for like 2 weeks out of the year, you've got Steel City running lates whenever they decide to do a show. I don't know how that's going to work next year with Dave Limit out in Mormonville and, Lee not being able to show up on time. Dave's going to have to be doing a show at like 8 in the morning. They're going to have to expect Lee to be on time. Chipper, I mean, he might be dead of old age by then. I really don't know. So hopefully he survives this offseason. But Steel City Renegades will be back in the fall, right around football
Dave will have
time.
the shot of the mountains behind him every morning.
Yeah, Dave's going to have like a Mormon camp behind him, and he's going to be like, there's going to be nonstop people knocking at his door trying to recruit him.
Surrounded by his 4 wives he has already.
Yeah,
so
everyone named John Smith. But yeah, so you could check them out. They're from 10 to noon. Their new time will be official when the season starts before kickoff, which I think is a good time for them. I think that'll work out. They won't be battling with what's it called, with Sunday Night Football, which is
Yeah.
always a hard thing to try to watch the show and watch Sunday Night Football games. I'm sure those guys would like to be at home watching games as well. So looking forward to them next season, 10 to noon. And then you've got Medium Ratchet from 6 to 7, and you've got a new show, Loud and Local. Not sure when that's premiering, but I've seen Dave promoting it a lot
This
lately.
Sunday.
Oh, it is this
What's,
Sunday, the first episode. Okay,
Tim,
perfect.
what's the synopsis of the show? What's
Being loud and local.
okie dokie?
All right, fair enough. Well, then looks like they nailed it. So check out Loud and Local this Sunday.
Glad we invite Tim
from,
places. It's great.
I can't read it if I'm not going to lie. So is it 7 to 8:30 or 7 to 9? I really can't tell what that.
7:30 to 9:30.
Yep.
Okay, sounds good.
And I believe he's going to be just talking about a lot of local artists. It was we talked about.
Are they loud?
He wasn't very loud, but he was loud enough, I guess.
I'll comment. I'll tell him, can you speak up? You got to get a little louder. You're going to live up to your show name. And then Mondays, of course, you've got Just Therapy. Get on the couch with Sean Boyd, 7 to 9. Tuesdays, our very own Timbuktu. Check him out. Talking about life, talking about anything. That's what I love about Timbuktu Tuesday is it is just an abundance of knowledge. It's life. It's music. It's whatever you want to talk about. Tim will talk about it. He is literally an entertainer. He's a comedian. He can talk about anything. Give him a topic. He'll go with it. So do that. Check out Timbuktu Tuesday every Tuesday night. Last night I checked in for a couple minutes, but of course it was Valentine's Day. So I had to, the missus wanted some attention while we were at dinner. So I checked in, said hello to the boys, and I had to get back to dinner. But I always got to check in and say hi to my man Tim and make sure he's doing good.
I hope you got some buns.
Actually, no, I got better than that. I'm married now. So like I went home and just went to bed and it was fucking great. We got home at like 8:30 and I literally looked at her. She wanted to watch a movie. Of course, we're horror nuts. So she's like, let's watch My Bloody Valentine. Great horror movie based on Valentine's Day. So I'm like, can we watch it in bed? And she's like, no, it's 8:30. So she made me watch it on the couch. And then as soon as it ended, we laid in bed and it was fucking
All these
awesome.
old jokes about other people, and here you are in bed by. I shouldn't even.
No,
I was in bed by 9:30 last night.
I didn't
watching
do
the
it. I
show,
wanted
so.
to be in bed. I'm very sleep deprived. So I just wanted to lay down. But anyway, you can check that out. Timbuktu Tuesday, 6 to 8 on Tuesdays. And you've got Gary Wenner spinning the tunes from 6 to 10 live on location. That's official. That's on the Redline Radio LLC.com. You can check that out. And then you have Broad Street South coming back. I wonder how Angel's doing after his Eagles just shit the bed in the Super Bowl. Can't wait to hear him talk about that soon. And then, of course, you've got Cleveland's Finest from 4 to 6. Hope you guys all checked that out today. I know I did with the studio issues, but being all good. I was actually able to enjoy their show from start to finish today. It was really good. So give them a little shout out.
Those guys bring the energy, man. I tell you.
They do. They got a lot going on, too. Their fucking show is like, if you take acid and you watch their show, you're going to have a bad trip.
It's like an episode of Mad TV.
They have a lot going on.
It's like local Mad TV. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's fun. They have a really good dynamic together. So check them out and, tell them Talking About Balls sent you. Because I like when people tell people that they're there because of us. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think it's nice. And then, of course, you have Talking About Balls from 7 to 9 on Wednesday nights. And then Thursdays, this is where it gets hectic. It gets crowded. It gets crazy, and it's all for the culture. You've got that guy, Dub, from 3 to 4. And right after Dub, you've got, Broad Street South, when they return, will be from 8 to 9. But as for now, you've got the Lex Vegas show from 7 to 8. And then Club Pizzle, 8:30 to 9:30. That's for the culture at Redline Radio
Full
Studio
lineup on
1.
Thursdays, man.
Loaded, great shows, all different shit. That guy Dub will talk about anything. He just drives around and wherever he's at, on location. He will do whatever.
Did a car show like last week.
Yeah. He was in his car. He was at car shows. It doesn't matter. He'll do a show anywhere. You want to put him on the back of the bus, he will do a show. It doesn't matter for Dub.
And then be a guest on that show soon.
Really? Hell yeah. Well, when that comes up, make sure you let us know and we'll promote the fuck out of it. That's what we do.
Did you just say the back of the bus?
I didn't mean it that Rosa Parks style.
That's it. We're getting fucking canceled.
I meant you go to the back because
in Black History Month.
Son of a bitch.
In Black History
You guys
Month.
didn't let me finish. I was going to say, if he does a show in the back of the bus, by the end, he'll be in the front of the bus because that's what Rosa Parks would do.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to get to. You guys just didn't let me finish.
Tim, we might want to cancel him.
These kids these days, they're so quick to cancel. They don't even let you finish your thought. But all seriousness, Dub will do a show anywhere. And then you've got, he'll talk about anything. You've got Lex Vegas, who, again, he'll talk about damn near anything. There's nothing off limits with Lex Vegas. And then Club Pizzle talks about everything, including sports. I know he's going to have a lot to talk about this Thursday because of the Super Bowl. So definitely tune in. And again, tell him Talking About Balls sent you. Then you got Money's Crazy Soundtrack ending the week on Thursday, at least, because I started on Friday. So check everything out on Redline Radio. Full schedule. I'm sure there's more shows coming because it never stops. Just a constant revolving door of new people wanting to be here. And it's hard to find time now. I mean, look at the schedule board right now. It's fucking packed. So good luck finding time, but Dave will make it work. So contact Dave if you want to be on Redline Radio. And you could be just like us. Kind of like what he did with Unscripted. You just rip everything off from Talking About Balls. But yeah, so to do that. And also, if you're not into doing a show and you might own a small business or anything like that, you can also reach out to Dave and you can do you can advertise with Redline Radio. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna try to get Kyle off guard, and I'm off
Motherfucker.
guard because I don't even have my fucking papers in front of me.
Oh, I'm good to go for this one. I don't have my papers, but I was ready for this one.
I forgot to take my papers out, so I will do that now. But official sponsors, I will start off with last week. We were at Lucy's. They have rebranded again. They are back to now just being called Lucy's Pub. They are now going to be having soul food. I saw wings, ribs. They have a new chef coming in. I think they said her name was Mrs. Campbell, who's going to be making soul food. They're going to be on Grubhub, Uber Eats, everything. They're stepping their game up.
You're not kidding? They're really
No,
are
this was a
rebranding
real
again?
Oh yeah, he Charlie posted today. They're now just going to be called Lucy's Pub again. They dropped the Shenanigans Taco Shack.
But the tacos are pretty damn good, though.
Fun fact, they're keeping the tacos. That was announced also. So the
Oh.
tacos are staying, and they are introducing wings, ribs, and other soul food. I forgot everything that they mentioned. My brain can only retain so much. I just remember seeing the post today that they are going back to just being called Lucy's Pub. So check them out on Broadview Road. The staff there is great. Tell them, talking about Ball sent you, they know who we are by now. We've been there enough. So check that out. Go there, have a couple drinks with some friends, watch a game, karaoke on Fridays. Comedy shows, Redline Radio will be there. Lex Vegas is hosting a show coming up in a couple of weeks, I believe. Actually, this
Sunday.
Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday there's a show. So that's right. I couldn't remember the date.
Heard
So
there's
check that out.
a potential going away party for somebody, too.
Potential. Yeah, I think he asked if they could hang up the Talking About Balls banner behind him when I was going away party.
They probably pop another ring, too. So. So I'm going to mention these guys because I saw about 20 of them laying down inside of the street today because they got blown the fuck over. But trash cans. Trash cans, very dirty. I could look inside a couple of them. They were pretty raunchy. I wanted to stop by and tell them they should give Fitch Trash Bin Cleaning LLC a call because they'll take care of you. But yeah, official hotline sponsor of Studio 2, trash bin cleaning and pressure washing. Fitch Trash Bin Cleaning is locally owned and eco-friendly trash bin cleaning service in Northwest Ohio. They're covering North Ridgeville, where I live, and other surrounding areas. You can reach Fitch Trash Bin Cleaning LLC at 440-752-1533. Give Brandon a call, and of course, tell him Team Redline sent you, and also tell him that Talking About Balls sent you too.
Got that right. Now, you know that if you're the Super Bowl, you probably had a party. Everyone had people over. People are pissing a lot. They're shitting. You know, you eat bad food. You're eating a lot of chicken wings, things like that.
Very true.
Next thing you know, you might have a little drainage issue. So what are you going to do? You're going to call our friends at Smith's Drain Service LLC, and you're going to tell them, hey, we have some problems here, and they're going to come and fix it because there's no project too big for them. Smith's Drain Service is your local drain cleaning experts. They specialize in main sewer lines, bathtub, laundry lines, septic lines, kitchen sink lines, floor drains, and downspouts, and so much more. Give them a call today, 440-242-8704. Tell them Redline Radio sent you. Hopefully, with Dave moving to Utah/Vegas, Redline Radio doesn't go down the drain, and I don't think it will. You know why? That's because of Lisa. Lisa is awesome. And I'll give Lee props too. Lee and Tim are still going to be a big part of it, but Lisa is going to be moving up to the top of the charts here at Redline Radio. And Lisa is responsible for Growing Wings Adult Services. And that's why we're here in Studio 2, because they are the official sponsor of Studio 2. So Growing Wings Adult Services, they're the official sponsor of the state-of-the-art Studio 2, and they have service. They've been in service for over 7 years with experience of taking care of adults with disabilities. For more information, give Lisa a call at 234-334-7547.
We're just doing back-to-back ads now.
I
You're on
had
a roll.
I had a segue, so
I
I
don't
wanted to
wanna
go with
stop
it.
you. I mean,
I wanted to talk about Redline not going down the drain, and the reason it didn't go down the drain was because Lisa
See it. So you
getting
tied two
Lisa
together.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to.
I'm smooth
how
like
you,
that.
How you're playing that. So obviously we've talked about it numerous times tonight. Bet Stamps, our new sponsor. We love it. With that, we've talked about it. We're, get some branded clothing, potentially put like a logo on like a polo or a t-shirt, something that can put our name with our sponsor's name. How cool would that be?
Yeah, where would you go to get that?
I would go to Incredible Keepsakes because they not only work with Redline and make all the cool Redline hats, hoodies, t-shirts, underwears, G-strings, bras, panties, whatever you want. They'll put your name on it or face on it if you want to. But if you want to put something fun on a logo, on an item that you own, they do t-shirts, they do cups, binders, keychains, you name it, they'll do it for you. Incredible Keepsakes can make anything you want customizable for you. As Diane likes to say, cherished moments are made to last forever. Give her a call today at 440-242-9648 or go to their website at www.incrediblekeepsakes.com today.
Now I'm reading Dave's comments over there, and Dave
See
says
a lot of names.
he says Kava Bar is a new station sponsor. Not familiar with them. I don't have any information
Is
on
that a
them.
coffee bar?
I'm not sure. So, Dave, if you have more information, we'll definitely pimp them out a little bit next week. But Another thing he put in the comments is Chad Moon, who I happen to know is the lead singer of Bad Juju, the official band of Redline Radio. If you want to book Bad Juju for anything, they're covering all your favorite music from the 80s and 90s. You're going to want to call Chad Moon. I just happen to have his phone number. It's 440-458-0209. Book Bad Juju for your next event, your next party, your next bar event, whatever you have, fundraiser, anything. You got a bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah, you've got a quinceañera, whatever you need, you call Chad Moon.
I like it. Now, the one thing that I'm hoping for with Dave moving to Vegas is we get
he never comes back. Oh, sorry. Did I say that out loud? No, I'm just kidding, Dave.
Said that way too quick. Is that we get a chance to do a live remote. And you know where I'd love to do a live remote?
Tattoo Therapy Inc., but we can't. Oh, no, is that not what you're
going?
Oh, sorry.
Not in Vegas.
Oh, my bad.
The Rusty Spur Saloon out in Vegas. Biggest hole in the wall bar there is out there. I'm hoping Dave frequents that all the time when he's out there. But I
expect Dave to send us some selfies from Rusty Spur.
But I would love to get a chance to go out there and do a live remote. That'd be great. I would personally pay to fly out there to do one, spend a couple days and do it. That'd be amazing.
I wouldn't. Dave, you pay for me if you want me in Vegas. I'm just kidding.
But if you're ever in Vegas, if you want to meet up with Dave, I'm sure he's up there hanging outside, passing out Redline Radio cards. Go see him. Give him a call. They have all kinds of drinks, fun drinks, hole-in-the-wall drinks, cheap drinks. The floor's probably sticky. The seats are too. Go check them out when you're in Vegas.
All right. So we briefly, strange transition to get to ads, but it worked. Back to the Super Bowl, though. I wanted to talk a little bit more about it.
We just throw the ads in wherever the fuck we want.
Yeah, that's what we do. I literally, my whole purpose is to not have it like a segment of like, all right, it's time for ads. It's like, nope. Whenever we say something where I go, okay, I can go with this, we fucking go. That's what we do. And we were talking about the conspiracy of the grass. Other than that, though, the Super Bowl was a pretty fun game. I enjoyed it. A nice back and forth battle. For me, I've been saying this a long time, and I've gotten into arguments with people, and I'm not willing to crown him yet. You guys know where I stand with Tom Brady. Not taking anything away from him. 7 Super Bowls, fantastic career, great. Do I personally think he's the greatest football player of all time? No, I don't. I think there's been other players at different positions. Like I personally think overall, pound for pound, Aaron Donald is a current better player than Tom Brady. I think he can just dominate a game. Most of Tom Brady's championships are tainted with weird backstories. There's the
taint.
Yeah, taints. I mean, we are talking about balls, so we talk about everything in the lower undercarriage area. But yeah, we talked about it last week a little bit too, but most of you didn't fucking come, so you probably didn't hear it. And my mic didn't work, so you probably really didn't hear it. But
we have a list, by the way.
Yeah, I did not forget people that didn't come, and there were only a couple people that were excused because they did reach out in advance and told me they couldn't make it. Shout out to a friend of show, Greg Sherwood, Mr. Stats and Fun Fact Greg.
Mr. Family COVID over there. I feel
other
bad
people, though, a lot of people, there were people in the comments today. I mean, even Dave couldn't make it. Dave couldn't be bothered. He had to go to the Cavs game with Chipper, which I understand. Again, Dave's leaving. He wanted to get to another Cavs game. He wanted to see Chipper before Chipper passes away. So it was nice. I get it. Take him to one last game. It was kind of like a Make-A-Wish thing, but for the elderly. Totally understood. I give Dave a pass.
It's like a Make-A-Wish for the elderly.
Yeah, this Chipper's one last ride. It's a little thing. So we were talking about a little bit last week. You have his first Super Bowl, the Tuck rule. It was a fucking fumble. Everybody and their brother.
He even admits it's a fumble.
Everyone knows it was a fumble. Then you have other Super Bowls. You've got Spygate. You've got Deflategate. You've got multiple instances where they've been in trouble for recording teams' practices and plays illegally. Just a lot of weird shit behind those Super Bowls. So I'm not taking them away from him. They're his. But for me, that's why he's not the greatest. One guy that I think is starting to nip on his heels a little bit is one Patrick Mahomes. I'm a huge fan of Patrick Mahomes. I know it sucks that he's in the AFC, that he's only 26 or 7 years old. He will be a Browns foe for many, many years. I get that. But I just love watching him play. Watching him go out there on that bum ankle, doing what he can to make his team win. For me, that speaks volumes. He has the ankle sprain. People are... They won't even just give him credit that he went out there and toughed it out and won the game. People are starting to go, do you think he was faking it to like trick,
I just want to know
Eagles?
What quarter zone shot he got, because my God, I know it's adrenaline that powered him through.
They did give
lot.
him a lot of shit. I mean,
no, I'm sure they gave him.
How many guys have come out after they've retired and said like the stuff they give you in a locker room to just make you feel nothing so you can get through a game is like incredible. And I'm sure that's what they did to Mahomes.
Black tar heroin, baby.
And I'm
sure
sure
he was still in pain though. You could see he was
100%.
Sure,
and that's why like shame on people that are trying to like diminish what he did. And they're like, oh, I think he was just he was doing it on purpose to make the Eagles think that he couldn't move and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, the guy really didn't run that much. He had the one long run. And other than that, he was pretty immobile.
Yeah.
And then If you go back to the Bengals game, he could barely move. They were throwing the ball quick. He wasn't getting
And
out of the pocket.
It's not like he threw for a lot of yards, like
No, he threw
189 yards.
182. I know for a fact because I had him over 200. So I know exactly how many yards he had.
But he had
It
three
was
touchdowns.
182.
Three
Three
touchdowns.
touchdowns. I did take him at over 1.5. So that
And they ran the same fucking play, but two sides of the field
because
on
Andy
two
Reid
touchdowns.
and Eric Bieniemy are fucking geniuses. That offense is so good together.
It's insane.
It's just a well-oiled machine. So kudos to the Chiefs for winning the Super Bowl again. Patrick Mahomes now has 2 MVPs. He has 2 Super Bowl rings. He's 27 years old and no signs of slowing down anytime soon.
Let me ask you. So what do you think happens with the Eagles now? So when they lose, they're going to lose a lot of people because they had a lot of 1-year contracts on that team.
Yeah.
Now they lost their offensive coordinator and their defensive coordinator. What happens now?
So they've got
are
a little
they back
bit of,
next year in the playoffs?
Well, yeah, they should be because if I'm not mistaken, Jalen Hurts is in his 3rd year now.
Right.
So he's on a rookie contract, but he was a 2nd-round pick, so he does not have a 5th-year option. He only gets a 4-year contract. So they have Jalen Hurts for another year under a rookie contract, which is huge. That's how you build teams.
Yeah.
Or that's what helps teams. When you have a young quarterback, you can kind of go for it. That's what the Eagles did. You spend every fucking dollar you can of that salary cap to build the best team possible while you can afford it. And then once you have to pay Jalen Hurts, which they're more than likely going to have to give him a contract this offseason, but it won't be in effect until another year. So they have another shot to go for it. But the thing, like you mentioned, which is kind of ironic, they lose the Super Bowl by giving up a shitload of points.
Yep.
And both of their coordinators get picked away to be head coaches.
It's insane. How did the defensive coordinator for the Eagles get a head coaching job over?
Because John Gannon overall through the year was really good. And who were you going to say over who?
I was over Bieniemy from Kansas City.
So Bieniemy's always had, from what I understand, and I know a lot of people look at this, and you know me, I'm all for equal opportunity employment. I wanted Brian Flores to get a head coaching
you did
job.
kind of say back of the bus a couple minutes ago. But
I was making a point.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That I don't stand for people at the back of the bus. That's what I was getting at.
In Black History Month.
Damn right. That's why I got this black eye. I'm trying to make it up.
Tim,
for
that needs to be a
everybody.
soundbite. That needs to be a soundbite that we use every so often.
In Black History Month?
Yeah, you got to do it in the wrong month too. Like if I say something stupid in like June, you're like in Black History Month. But yeah, I've heard some things, and like obviously the initial thing is like, oh, it's because he's black. That's why he's not getting a head coaching job.
Right.
But I've also heard other things that like his interviews haven't gone that well. My understanding is that he's not the main part of their offensive play calling and design. That's Andy Reid, of course. So Bieniemy is kind of like a behind the scenes guy. Sure, he knows what he's doing. I think he's also really smart and talented and knows what he's doing, but I don't think he's not the main guy. So
Is it quite possible though he just doesn't want to leave?
And that could be it too, because I mean Andy Reid is 3 cheeseburgers away from buying the farm himself.
No,
so
it's pepperoni. It's a
sausage and mushroom
pizza now
with a side salad.
He
got a
He
salad.
had to add that in there, didn't he?
Yeah, that was fun. He's like, I wanted to feel a little bit better about myself, so I got a side salad.
But I part of me, and because I heard this today, they were talking about it. It was Daryl Ryder, local annoyance.
I hate him.
Annoyance.
Looks
Twitter.
like Jim Carrey kind of, and he's annoying as fuck.
He put this long tweet out about how the fact it's a shame that these people are getting jobs that lost the Super Bowl to a offensive coordinator who won the Super Bowl and has won another Super Bowl and has been around for a while and has great offenses. And a lot of the responses were the same that we're talking about now. Hey, what if he doesn't want the job? What if he just has a bad interview presence? What if he doesn't give the answers they want to hear? What if he's just made to be an offensive coordinator and that's it? Like maybe he partners with Andy Reid very well and they play off each other. If he goes somewhere else, he's going to be on an island. He won't be able to do it again.
Sure.
All these things are possible. But there's a reason why people are not hiring you.
I mean, you could say the same thing even about they interviewed him this week because he just won the Super Bowl as the defensive coordinator of the Chiefs, Steve Spagnuolo. They asked Steve Spagnuolo, they're like, you've been the defensive coordinator here for years. Your defense just won another, a championship. Why aren't you getting head coaching offers? You've been a head coach before. You have the experience. And he even said, he's like, I'm okay with it. Like, it is what it is. I don't care. So yeah, some guys are just content.
Marquette, Xavier. Xavier. It's 4-point difference now.
Yeah, I just saw that at halftime. Hey, what's up, Grape? You missed, we were promoting the show a little bit, talking about you're doing H2N this week.
We had some good conspiracy theories already today.
We told everybody to tune in at 6:00 because probably by about 6:15 you're going to get kicked off of Facebook for talking about that H2N shit. So everybody, if you get a chance, check out Grapevine on Friday night, 6 to 8. I will gladly promote Grape twice. I don't mind one bit. But yeah, so Eric Bieniemy, I don't know why he's not getting the head coaching opportunities, but I also don't think he cares. I think it's more so of a media kind of driven thing of like they just have to look at it. I understand most of them are white people, but if you look around the NFL, it's crazy that I think they talked about today, there's like 8 head coaches with Northeast Ohio ties.
We
Like,
produce a lot of good football
we
players.
are a factory for NFL coaches. If you really want somebody good, apparently you go to Northeast Ohio, because that's where John Gannon, who just got the Arizona Cardinals head coach from the Eagles, he was their defensive coordinator, Northeast Ohio guy. Shane Steichen, however you say his name, I believe he's Northeast Ohio native.
Colts, yep.
He just took the Colts head coaching job. So again, the Eagles lost both coordinators in a losing effort, which is crazy to me. But it'll be interesting to see how they do next year.
So I didn't look too much into the story afterwards, but I did see like the couple clips of the Philly head coach making a gesture to the sideline of Kansas City with Jalen Hurts standing next to him. Did you look more into that? I don't know if there's something to that or not, but did he get cocky and do something? And then
It looked to me that he was just doing like a first down gesture.
Got it.
And then even Jalen Hurts like put his hand down, like Jalen Hurts like grabbed him and was like, no, come down.
No.
And then he started smiling. So Jalen Hurts was having fun too, which I'll never get upset with any
Talking
coach
shit.
or player for being excited and in the moment. Your feelings and your emotions and your adrenaline are going so crazy. I don't know how. I honestly, for me, like last week we did Lucy's. Knowing we're going to be up on a stage talking to people, albeit there was only like 4 people in the crowd because most of you guys fucking suck. Shout out to Grape though. Grape was there the whole time, and that was on his birthday too.
Fuck
so that was
yeah,
awesome
Grape.
for him, or awesome of him, I should say. But doing that, like for me, I get like adrenaline before the show starts. Like I'm excited. We were on a stage talking to people. Now imagine doing it in the Super Bowl. You have to keep your composure, things like that. And they showed Nick Sirianni before the game, just the national anthem playing. I think reality set in. He understood he's at the Super Bowl. This is maybe a once in a lifetime opportunity. Emotions took over and he started crying his eyes out.
So he's a very emotionally unstable guy, is what we're saying.
That's kind of what I think.
Okay.
Like, do you think Kevin Stefanski would cry at the Super Bowl?
Absolutely not.
Or would taunt
No
opponents? No chance.
I think Stefanski
much better
would stone face just stand there and just go for it. That's what he does. Or he'd probably have the playbook in front of his face. One of the two. I'm not quite sure.
A little bit of both. But yeah, so the Super Bowl was really fun. I enjoyed it. What are your thoughts on the end? I love for me, I am going to bash people, and that's just what I do. And this isn't just Browns
You've already
fans.
unloaded on it too.
Yeah, this isn't just Browns fans. This is everybody in the world that bitched and moaned about that final play, the big penalty for the Eagles. It was a fucking hold, guys. It was a good call by the refs. I hate the people that say the refs need to just let them play. So they need to let another team cheat to make the game more interesting for you, is what you're saying. That makes sense. And then let's say hypothetically the refs do swallow their whistle on that play, and the Chiefs miss the field goal, and then the Eagles drive down and win the Super Bowl. Are you then going to go, wow, those refs fucked up? They let the Eagles win.
No
they
matter
really
what,
the Chiefs.
either side
People are
going
to bitch. And it's the funny thing is it wasn't even Chiefs fans and it wasn't even Eagles fans. It was people like, I saw Chipper complaining a lot about the refs and they need to let them play. And it's like, they did. They let them play to the rules. Then they called a penalty on a fucking penalty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I honestly thought it was. I mean, it was a hold. The guy came out and said, "I held him." When the own player who
James
comes out
Bradbury
and
after
says,
the game,
"I held him," what else do you need?
He's
to
like,
hear?
I was really hoping that they were going to let me get away with that.
Yeah, and that just tells you that there's stuff that they do get away with.
Yeah,
you roll the dice sometimes, right?
And the funny thing is that again, this is just me and my insanity because I like to get all the facts. You know how I am. We talked about this last week. I looked up all of LeBron's stats, so I knew what I was talking about in certain arguments. With that penalty last week, immediately people were like, that's a weak call. That jersey tug didn't do anything. They were showing this clip of him like tugging on the back of his jersey. That wasn't what the penalty was called on.
It was the hook, wasn't it?
Yeah, when Juju was trying to do his route was to fake in, turn around, and flank out to the end zone. When he was trying to turn, James Bradbury had his arm wrapped around him, so he could not turn his body.
Yeah,
that's a penalty. You cannot do that. You cannot disrupt a guy's route by holding them. That's just football 101. If that happened to any of your favorite teams in the middle of the season, it could be the first quarter. You would bitch and moan and cry all over Facebook about how bad the refs are. The biggest moment in the world, Super Bowl, it happens, and everyone's like, they should just let him go. Let it happen. Who gives a shit?
So speaking of Juju, just to bring it up and talk about it, have you seen his Twitter?
Yeah, he sent he had the fake Valentine.
Everyone's been getting involved in that, like other NFL players too. You know, it's hilarious to me.
I like it because you have like there's a weird thing happening in sports right now where you've got, and I heard it today on the radio. I heard guys, this is I'll give them a plug, even though they're annoying as fuck, and I turn the show off after this. I listen to ESPN 850 a lot from 9 to noon. I like Tony Rizzo. I thought he was a fun guy to listen to, 10 plus years ago. I've been listening to him for a long time. he is obviously, and I'll be honest, he has lost his touch. He's clearly out of the loop. He doesn't pay as much attention to sports. He doesn't know what he's talking about anymore. It is kind of sad to listen to that because you hear a guy like they'll talk about a player who I kind of thought is like pretty well-known guy, and they're like, oh, who is? I've never even heard of this guy, and he'll go on like a rant, and he's just trying to get promotion and people to talk about him. So I get it, but it's just, and it's bad. It's not entertaining for me.
Clickbait.
They were actually at Radio Row last week. They were sent there from FanDuel, and they had a spot on Radio Row. They did their radio show. One guy that blew them off and would not do an interview with them, Myles Garrett.
Oh, I love that.
So they went on the radio today, and Aaron Goldhammer bitched and moaned about Myles Garrett not doing an interview with them and was saying, has he even lived up to the expectations as a number one pick? And everyone else on the show is going, he's literally broke the Browns sack record, and he's only in like his 5th year. They're like, yeah, I think he's doing okay.
You can't be that petty when somebody doesn't
he is
want to
that
talk
petty.
to you.
He's literally saying like, oh, he's out there laughing and dapping it up with Lamar Jackson. Like, you should be angry at your opponent. This guy doesn't want to win. He only cares about himself and blah, blah, blah. They're basically, this is what happens. And then the media tries to drive players and coaches and people out of town. And it starts with dumb shit like this.
Right.
He is bashing.
I would love to know the reason why he didn't do the interview, though. I'm pretty sure
his agent probably listens to the station.
If 92.3 was down there, they would do the interview.
100%.
Yeah.
I think they basically said Myles Garrett met with everybody there but ESPN 850, which I think is fucking awesome. I think it's great. But yeah, so they started the show off by bashing Myles Garrett, and it's just like the foolishness of people and how stupid can you get to try to run out one of the best players in town, all for some clicks to get people
I would
to
hope
listen,
that
to
it
make,
would
like,
never run him
clickbait.
out of town, but I mean, we'll see.
And that's the other thing he was even claiming. He's like, wouldn't doubt if Myles Garrett requests to trade soon because he wants out of here and, you know, he's sick of this town and blah, blah, blah. Like, he goes, if he wouldn't come on ESPN 850 Cleveland, that must mean he hates Cleveland. Like, they were really trying to like stir up controversy.
Like, dude, you're not the biggest radio show in Cleveland.
Most people don't know who you are that are under the age of like 60.
No.
I'll be honest. I listen to the show because I'm an old soul, but most of the listeners are old fucking people.
I listen to it sometimes because I used to work with the guy that does, you know.
And if you listen to anybody that calls in a sports talk show during the day, 99% of them are like 15 plus. They're 50 and older. They're like retired. They're old guys that are sitting around bored.
They always have to start off with the show of I've been a fan since
been a Browns fan
1963.
I changed Jim Brown's diapers when I was watching the Browns. Like,
I also got beat up by Jim Brown back in the day.
Jim Brown slapped my mom around back in the day.
That's usually how it goes.
But yeah, I mean, it's fucked up how the media can try to like paint
that was
bad
a great
images.
time for it, not in Black History Month comment, Tim. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, that was fair. That was all equal rights.
Well, those were all
Jim
pretty
Brown will
much.
smack anybody. It doesn't matter what color you are.
There was nothing bad about those.
Black, white, blue. Jim Brown will slap the shit out of you. That's his Valentine's Day card.
Oh, they rhymed.
You
I
like
that.
that?
Nice.
But what I was getting at with that is, we are in a day and age, and I went on a long tangent. You could have played the squirrel noise there for me, Tim, but
damn it, Tim.
It would have been fitting. I didn't forget.
I don't have it anymore. Squirrel.
But what I was getting at with that is, we are in a day and age where players after the game, no matter what, are like hugging up on the guy that just beat their ass, doing jersey exchanges, things like that. To see Juju and even Eli Apple. Eli Apple talks a lot of shit. He can't back any of it up because he sucks, but he talks a lot of shit. I love it. So I like seeing guys starting these rivalries that actually talk shit and kind of act like they don't like each other. It's cooler to me to see that than to see them tweeting each other like, oh, good for you. Go get that contract. You get what you deserve. Like, I'd rather see him talk shit. So I love it.
Yeah.
And especially after Juju just won a Super Bowl, like, you can't top that.
Just going through and watching the replies and some other players. Like, I know Mahomes said something, like it wasn't actually in a reply to him, but like he said, he's like, oh man, he's just in a happy place or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, he's on cloud nine. Juju, that's his first Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He unfortunately spent most of his career in that shitty state of Pennsylvania playing for the shitty Pittsburgh Steelers. And they didn't do anything.
I think another player called him like TikTok boy. I think it was AJ Brown. They called him TikTok boy.
Yeah, AJ Brown, who same thing. He was in Pittsburgh, where you're pretty much trapped in purgatory at this point. Mm-hmm. You don't have any success. You don't win playoff games. You have to get the fuck out of Pittsburgh if you want to win anything. And that's exactly what Juju did. Juju got the fuck out of Dodge, and now he's a Super Bowl champion because he left Pittsburgh. But I love the guys talking shit to each other. I really do. I think it's fun. Brings back like a really just entertaining aspect of sports, and it makes you kind of look forward to rivalries. And then, you know, maybe one day those guys end up being teammates because it's not their call. So Bradbury, you know, he's a free agent or something, and he's like, I'm going to go sign with the Chiefs because I want to win a championship, and happens to be opposite Juju. Maybe they fight a little bit in practice. Like, it's good rivalry. I like that kind of shit.
Absolutely.
So it's cooler than seeing them, you know, trading jerseys after the game. So I'm all for it.
All in all, though, good Super Bowl. Halftime show. Fan, not a fan? Did you watch it?
Yeah, no, I did. I mean, it was fine. I have no complaints about it. I'm personally not a Rihanna fan. I didn't like. I've heard most of those songs, but I don't care about them. I don't like. It's not something I would ever listen to on my own free will.
In Black History Month?
Damn right, Tim. I wouldn't listen to Rihanna in any month. But no, I mean, when I knew most of her songs because they're very famous. Like,
Are you surprised that she didn't bring anybody out?
Yeah, that was a little disappointing. If I'm being honest, I kind of thought that like the Super Bowl is known for like even Tara before it started was like she was telling me she saw a rumor that Christina Aguilera might be a guest that pops out. So I was like, oh, that'd be cool. Like I haven't seen Christina Aguilera in like 15 years. Is she even still alive? I couldn't tell you.
She's still beautiful as ever.
So yeah, so I was like, that'd be cool to see her come out and sing. She has a fucking amazing voice. Absolutely. I know that for a fact. So
I was kind of surprised. I did not know she was pregnant.
Obviously. I didn't either, and I didn't.
That was something that was,
I guess I don't understand the hype of like celebrity news like that.
Where, I don't care. I mean,
right. The whole world was like, oh my God, I had no idea she was. For me, I just looked and I'm like, is she pregnant? And then like me and Tara were like, yeah. And I'm like, all right. And I moved on with my day.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I didn't know she was pregnant, but she presented well and she did a fucking, I'm sure she was tired as shit after
100%.
doing that.
Yeah. Her feet were probably
going up and going down
and she's
dancing.
up on those things.
Yeah.
She's
it's
probably,
crazy.
She's used to going up and down. That's how she got there in the first place.
But no, honestly though, I thought it was an okay. I mean, I'm not a huge
fine.
Rihanna fan either, but I was surprised that no special guest came out. That was the one thing.
Yeah, for me,
I thought at least ASAP Rocky would have showed up because that's
a lot of people.
He already came, Tim.
A lot of people were joking and they were like, what if Kanye came out because they have a song together and they're like, the NFL just says, fuck it. We want all the controversy and they let Kanye come out.
Could you imagine?
I would have loved it, honestly. I think it would have been great.
Oof, wearing
she
like
did
his,
the song with him on it.
That's what everybody was like. Oh shit, Kanye's coming out.
Wearing his whatever Make America Great Again hat on.
Which, speaking of, did you happen off topic a little bit? This is my squirrel thing. So go ahead, Tim, hit me with it.
Squirrel.
Did you watch South Park last week?
I did not catch it yet.
Oh, okay. Speaking of Kanye.
Oh no, did they?
You know how they do Cupid Me?
Yeah.
For Cartman. Last week was Cupid Ye.
Oh God.
For Kanye. It was funny as fuck. So make sure you watch South Park. Last week's episode.
I haven't watched it yet. I'll watch it.
The new episode is actually on right now. It starts at 8:00 these days. It's no longer 10. So I can't wait to go home and watch that.
Well,
tonight.
they know that their generation who watches
I'm old now,
getting older, so they're
10 o'clock.
moving it to sooner.
They're like, "Oh, Justin, their ratings are down a little bit." But no,
Did you see the meme that all the white people were ASAP Rocky sperm?
No. I did see.
They were Oompa Loompas.
I saw a lot of people calling them sperm. I didn't see them call them ASAP Rocky sperm, but that makes sense.
I heard Oompa Loompas was one they threw out there too, with how they looked.
I'm guessing one day Grape's going to have an episode about that, and it's going to be about how Rihanna was wearing the white or the red, like the devil.
Yes.
And everyone around her was white, like an angel. Like
Yes.
I'm sure there's going to be some weird, like satanic cult shit where Grape's going to tell us that there's like, Hillary Clinton's out in the woods eating babies again, and it's because of this halftime performance.
I love that
shit.
It's the NFL.
Those stories are so cool for me. I'm not gonna lie, I don't believe any of them, but the stories are fucking fantastic.
What's your thoughts on Goodell going out there and hugging the shit out of what's his face, Chris Jones at the end of the game?
Oh, I didn't even see that, honestly.
Big old bear hug. Chris Jones picked him up like they were best friends for life.
I didn't see that.
So people are out there sitting there like,
Goodell told like he picked them to win, kind of thing.
That, and also that Goodell needs to not be a fanboy. He needs to just be like the commissioner, which is a down the middle type.
But that's not where we are. I mean, Goodell's whole thing is when he announces players getting drafted, they pick him up and spin him around and like.
How many years did it take for him to learn to dap correctly?
He still doesn't really isn't that good at it. But, I mean, guys, it's 2023. Goodell's just trying to fit in and be cool. He doesn't want to be all stoic and fucking boring.
Yeah, go back and make your $50 million a year to sit in your office and just bitch about people.
If Goodell has to get picked up and spun around by Chris Jones for $50 million a year, I'm sure he's okay with it. I mean, we're honestly to a point where everything is a fucking controversy and a conspiracy. Like you said, the grass, immediately everyone's like, conspiracy by the NFL. Maybe it is. Who knows? Rihanna wearing red. Oh, it's a conspiracy for the devil. Him hugging Chris Jones. Conspiracy.
I mean, I'm more concerned about Sam Smith's red he was wearing the other night at the Grammys.
Where it looked like he farted in it, the bubble suit.
Oh, that's one after that. I'm talking about the
after?
performance he did. Was wearing all red.
I heard about it. I didn't see it.
That dude has fallen off something. I'm not sure what, but it's fallen off something.
I'm not really too familiar with him. I know he had that one big song like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That's about all I know.
This is the music segment for talking about balls.
That's it. Yeah. I'm really out of the loop.
Sing it, Tim.
I don't pay attention to like.
All I need.
Like I didn't know ASAP Rocky and Rihanna were a thing.
Is it ASAP or ASAP, Rocky?
It's ASAP.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure.
You sound like Spider.
Yeah, see, Kyle's showing his what? Kyle, in Black History Month?
In Black History Month?
You're gonna ask how to pronounce ASAP Rocky in Black History Month of all time?
Is it Rihanna or Rihanna?
It's whatever you want. Bad girl Riri. Even I know that.
A rich bitch is what she is, man. $1.2 billion she's worth.
Yeah, I don't personally, I'm way out of the loop with pop culture. So Sam Smith, I didn't even know he was still a thing. So when I saw people talking about his outfit and shit, I'm like, oh, fuck if I know.
Like he farted in a trash bag.
That's what everybody else said. I saw the fucking legs are all popped out. And they're like, when your clothes are too tight and the gas bubble won't come out. So we already talked about the Eagles coordinators going. So that will get us to our next topic here, which is the professional eyeliner wearing Derek Carr. He was officially released by the Las Vegas Raiders because he told them, go fuck yourself, which I think is such a bold power move.
I don't think he said that word. He probably threw a Bible at him. And then...
he said, go frick yourself, gentlemen. And he walked out and he said, according to John 8:17 and verse 4:12, and he like gave all these fucking verses. Or
go pray.
Car 316 said... yeah, I mean, honestly, great for. I mean, he wasn't. Coming back,
it. No,
I love that he said. I love that he said no to the Saints. Like he visited him. He's like, nah.
Yeah, he literally took like a free dinner. But this is where we'll get to this. We'll do a quick prediction with nothing behind it. Obviously, he just got released yesterday. Where we think he might end up. But it is kind of ironic that the only team he met with was the New Orleans Saints. They wined and dined him. They showed him the facility. They probably went over like what their plan would be with him at quarterback. And then he went back to Vegas, and Vegas was like, hey, you interested in going to the Saints? We could package you up and make sure you're a Saint by tomorrow. And, you might have to lose a little bit of money. And he said, fuck you. You can release me and I'll take my contract in full. And then I'm going to double dip and get paid by the next team.
Yep.
So more power to him. I respect it. You guys know where I stand. I would have taken Derek Carr last year over Baker Mayfield.
He's still got a lot in the tank, man. He's still at least another 5-6 years.
I also don't think he's as bad as they're really painting him out to be. I don't think he's the problem. 2 years ago, the dude was a legitimate MVP candidate. He took the Vegas Raiders to the playoffs. And this was the year too, full of controversy with John Gruden getting fired mid-season. Henry Ruggs killing a person mid-season. They went through so much shit, and Derek Carr stood there and took that team to the playoffs. And controversy, whatever you want to call it, conspiracy, some shitty calls by the referees kind of fucked them in that game against the Bengals.
Yeah.
So Derek Carr, I don't think is that bad. And same thing with this year. Not the greatest stats, not his best year, had a lot of turnovers, sure. But their defense sucks.
Could you imagine him with Chris Olave? That'd be a hell of a...
Chris Olave, possibly a healthy Michael Thomas.
We say that every year.
Alvin Kamara, you got Taysom Hill. That's a pretty decent team. They have a really good offensive line. They have a really good defense. The Saints are a team not to be fucked with. I've always said that they're a good quarterback away from being a really, really good team.
Yep.
A bold prediction I had was that Sean
they also
Payton,
got some picks, not to cut you out, the picks.
Yeah, they have draft picks.
Yeah, with Peyton, the trade too.
So that's what I was going to say was, obviously it didn't happen, but I said maybe they go to, or maybe Sean Payton says, I'm coming out of retirement, I'm going to coach, and they would get Tom Brady before he retired. So I was like, that's a good team. That was literally just a quarterback away from being very decent. And if you look around the NFC South, the NFC South sucks. There's not a good team down there now that Tom Brady retired.
It's a great year to come in as a
it's
fresh
wide
face.
open. You go down there, Derek Carr on the Saints. I mean, for what it's worth, because nobody else is signed to other teams, the Saints would be my favorite to win that division right now, just based on that. But yeah, I do find it kind of funny that the only team he met with was the Saints, and then he told the Raiders, rightfully so, I'm not trading, accepting a trade because he had a no trade clause. And he got released. He gets to now pick wherever the fuck he wants. He gets to jump the line because he doesn't have to wait till the trade, the free agency in March. I think March 15th. Actually, my birthday is free agency. He doesn't have to do that. He can sign with a team today. So kudos to him. I hope he signs with somebody soon. So it gives us something to talk about in our next episode, which will be in 2 weeks. Friendly reminder, 2 weeks.
Taking a week off.
We are
in Black History Month.
On a vacation. Yeah, it's fitting. We don't want to work in Black History Month, Tim, right? Is that a thing?
It's our respect for you, Tim, to get the month off.
Yeah, but no, I mean, that's the first thing I told Tim. I'm like, hey, go do some fucking comedy shows. Here's some nights that are going to be open now. Your Wednesdays are free. A couple of them. But yeah, I'm curious to see what happens with the Derek Carr situation. Gun to your head, where do you think he goes? Me, I think Saints, just based on the connection that he has now with the only team he met with.
So my number one pick was the Colts.
Okay.
But I think they might just go ahead and draft a quarterback. But the Saints were on there as well. I also put down the Jets and Carolina as potential options too. Because the Jets, I mean, let's be honest, the Jets are also potentially one quarterback away from being really good too.
My thing, I tell my Jets fans, my Jet fan friends that Derek Carr would not last a month in New York with that media. The dude cried after a game this year. Imagine when the New York media is roasting him after a loss or something he does, you know. It takes some thick skin to play in New York to be a quarterback of the Jets, and I think that's why they've sucked for the last 25 years, because they can't find a guy that's good for the job. Which is why I think it's ironic that they really want Aaron Rodgers in New York, because do you really think he's going to last with that media? Like, Aaron Rodgers is a fucking nutcase. People hate him. He's currently doing that fucking darkness cleanse or whatever the fuck he's doing.
Did you see him on the Pat McAfee show yesterday?
No, I don't watch the Pat McAfee
where
show.
he
being
just
honest.
You don't? Okay, well it's fine. But
I'm
watched
familiar with it. I just don't watch
the clip. He basically threw like Rappaport and Scheffler all under the bus. He's like, I don't talk to any of those guys. Yet
I heard about that.
every week they have stories about me.
Yeah, he's like, they have all this news, and
nobody in my inner circle talks to him. Nobody has my number. Nothing they have is actually coming from my mouth.
Yeah.
So it's just funny to me that they always have to talk about me.
That's fair.
Yeah, but I think he'd do well there. I think he'd be one of those. It'd be really TV ready interviews, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, he's already a good interview, and he plays in Wisconsin and Green Bay. You know, a very small market. I get it. The Packers are a huge team worldwide, globally, but that is a small market.
Yeah.
So playing in New York puts him on another level. But I don't think he'll end up there. I really don't. I think if anything, I think Aaron Rodgers will be with the Vegas Raiders next year. Gun to my head. If we're playing, we'll do this in a later episode, because, you know, eventually there's going to be downtime in the offseason. We'll need stuff to talk about. So before free agency, probably in February, Kyle and I will do an episode where we kind of break down where we think some of the top potential free agents are going to end up, or any quarterback switching teams, things like that. We'll do that. We'll make it fun, get everybody else involved. We'll do shit like that.
Yeah, but I think Colts are Saints for sure.
Yeah, I'm again, I have no information or anything. I'm just going Saints because that's the only team he met with. So I'm going with them. Now we will switch sports a little bit. Let's get to the old NBA, where the NBA had
one hell of a trade season. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. The trade deadline went fucking crazy. So last week when we did our show on Wednesday night, the only trade that had happened at the time was the Kyrie Irving trade to Dallas, which happened early. And then after that, during our show, you had the trade of Russell Westbrook, D'Angelo Russell, and a few other guys. Like, a lot of guys switched teams with the Jazz, the Lakers, and the Timberwolves. And then right after the show that night, or the next day, actually it was the middle of the night, Kevin Durant gets traded to the Phoenix Suns.
God, I woke up and like Twitter's like,
it went crazy. Everybody's like, KD's out. He's going to Phoenix. So he's with the Phoenix Suns now, Kevin Durant.
Instantly, they jumped to the number one favorite, I think, in the West.
I think so too. That team is fucking stacked.
It's insane with Chris Paul directing traffic with that
Chris
ball.
Paul, Kevin Durant, DeAndre Ayton, and Devin Booker. That is fucking
good
loaded.
Fucking luck.
Loaded.
Good
However, their bench got a little weaker. They lost Mikal Bridges, who was a really key component for them. So it's curious to see how they're going to work that out. But
health-wise, if they stay healthy,
and that's the other thing too. You have guys that are old and can't stay healthy. Devin Booker's been hurt a lot. Chris Paul seems to be an anchor, and I don't mean that in a good way. I mean, he weighs teams down in the playoffs. Chris Paul is known as a guy that does not win in the playoffs.
He's not somebody I will bet on in the playoffs.
No. Devin Booker, same thing. He's been hurt most of this year. Kevin Durant's always hurt. He's getting older. So it's going to be interesting to keep an eye on that team, but they are going to be a fun one and a scary one to watch.
I did like the Kyrie trade. I really, for a while, I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, how is this going to work with him and Luka? Because they're both ball dominant players. You know, I don't know how it's going to work together. But the other night, watching them play together, they're extremely, they're really trying their hardest to get each other involved in plays.
I'm not comparing the two by any stretch. Don't take it that way. But
Luka's better, yes.
Well, yeah, that's a given. Luka can do more on the. I mean, it's like, I'm not comparing them to these guys at all, but it's like the Jordan LeBron thing. You've got two amazing players, two of the best players you can watch in Luka and Kyrie. And then you look at Luka and you're like, okay, this guy gets rebounds, he gets assists, he gets triple doubles, like he does it all. So it's fun to watch guys like that. And I do think Kyrie can bring to the table a little bit of sense, because he played with LeBron, who was a ball dominant kind of player. He was a guy who's going to put up a lot of shots and score a lot of points. So at least Kyrie is very familiar with that. Kevin Durant kind of had that experience when he was with Golden State. However, he was playing with the best of the best. I mean, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, and at the time, Draymond Green, they all played at such a fucking high level. That team was unstoppable. Phoenix has great players, but I'm nowhere near comparing them all to the Golden State Warriors at that time.
So is it 1-2, you think Suns, Dallas in the West, or is
no, I think Denver is the best team in the West. They're one of the best teams in basketball. I think Jokic and that team right now, they're just fucking dominant. I think that could be some fun basketball to watch. Phoenix is definitely going to rise up the charts. I think their bench is a little weak, and that could be their bugaboo. But their starting 5, when healthy, is going to be one of the best in basketball, and that's what's going to really dominate. Because when you get to the playoffs, you shorten your bench anyway. You go to like a 7-man, 8-man rotation. You keep it really small, pending foul trouble. So we'll see what happens with that. It's going to be a curious, interesting thing to see because same thing. There's only one basketball. There's one ball that can be touched at any time, pun intended. And there's going to be a lot of guys that want that ball. Devin Booker shoots a lot. Kevin Durant shoots a lot. DeAndre Ayton touches the ball a lot. Chris Paul's the point guard. So there's a lot of people out there. And
a lot of ball to go around.
A lot of ball handling. And we will see how they make it work, but that's going to be a fun one. There were a lot of trades, though. I mean, as I said, Russell Westbrook ends up with the Jazz. We talked about that one on last week's episode. Some I didn't even know happened. Like last night I'm watching the Clippers game, Mason Plumlee enters for the first time.
Yep.
Didn't even know he got traded, if I'm being honest. There were so many fucking random trades. The Cavs were one of the few teams that did not make a trade. If I'm not mistaken, it was the Cavs and Bulls were the only 2 teams to not make a trade. But the Cavs did come away with a new player. And that is
old player, no
familiar
new player?
face.
Yeah.
Well, he's old in more ways than one.
Like he's been here before.
And he's also like 40. Danny Green, not to be confused with the Irish gangster Danny Green from the 60s and 70s. This is Danny Green from North Carolina, who has been here before.
Also different color.
In Black History Month, Kyle.
In Black History Month.
But
I'm excited for this.
I am too. He brings something that we need. He is a sharpshooter. At his age, he plays good defense. I mean, he was just on the championship Lakers team from 3 years ago.
He's well rested. He's coming off that knee injury, but he's well rested.
Yeah, he's very well rested. He hasn't played much. He's part of the quote unquote Mickey Mouse championship. Everyone calls it the Disney ring.
The bubble championship. Yeah.
But he was on that team, and he was a huge contributor for them. He hit a lot of really big shots. He played really good defense. I think a good veteran presence for this team is good. I'll never be upset about that. You saw how important Ricky Rubio was to this team last year, how important he is to the team this year. Kevin Love has filled into that veteran role last year and this year too. Kevin Love's not touching the court, but he's still a really good teacher.
I'm just waiting for Kevin Love to come
player
dressed
coach,
up,
basically
wearing the coach's outfit with the clipboard now.
Put on a little 3/4 zip and call yourself an assistant, and it's all good.
Throw
I'm
on
okay
some
with
glasses, fake or not fake, so you look all professional and everything.
I'm all for it. I love Kevin Love. The longer he's in Cleveland, even if he's not playing, the better. But Danny Green is a really good addition to the team. I'm actually very excited for him.
That's the one thing that JB's had critics about is his rotation play.
Yes.
I'm really curious how they're going to work him in, how much they're going to play him, where they're going to use him. That's the one thing that we, as you just mentioned a couple minutes ago, is that you shorten your rotation for playoffs. Well, the Cavs have been playing with a very short rotation for a while. It's working because the starters are doing great, but when the starters are not playing, our bench does not perform well. I think it's ranked lower third of the league when it comes to bench scoring.
Yeah, it's weird to me to watch other teams because I watch a team like Golden State, for instance. I hate having to keep talking about them, but I'm watching yesterday, and there were guys that came off the bench. Steph Curry's, of course, injured.
Yep.
So they're playing with some guys you may have never heard of. And I mean, it happened a couple weeks ago when the Cavs played the Warriors on that Friday night that we watched the game at the bar. The Warriors played none of their starters. There was no Draymond, there was no Steph, there was no Clay. And they beat the fuck out of the Cavs.
Yep.
Their backups came in and dominated. And I'm watching teams like that. I'm like, how the fuck did these guys who I've never heard of, how are they draining these shots? And they're just shooting lights out. And it's a weird thing that, like, is it coaching? Is it talent? Is it a mixture of both? Like, how are they finding guys that are just sharpshooters,
right,
lights out, dominating? And that happened last night. I'm watching the Clippers game, and it's Clippers Warriors. And all of a sudden, the starters go out, the backups come in. I'm watching guys where I don't know who they are, and they're just draining threes. And I'm like, we don't have that. We have a guy like Chetty who is either going to give you 30 points or he's going to give you like 4.
Very hot and cold. Yeah,
very much so. And we need more consistency with our bench. And I think bringing in a guy like Danny Green can hopefully solidify that and make things a little bit easier because same thing. I love Ricky Rubio. I'm happy he's on the team. Nice veteran. But Rubio at times can come in and, he shoots a shitload of threes and doesn't hit them. His shot's a little uncharacteristic.
The best thing for him, I think Green would be maybe 11, 12 minutes a night, maybe 10 to 11 points a night or whatever. That's good for him.
Because I also think, though, that our bench numbers went down because Dean Wade missed a lot of time. I think Dean Wade's a really big contributor off our bench. Recently, he's been in the starting rotation sometimes, but coming off the bench, Isaac Okoro has been huge.
He's been playing well.
He's been playing very well. And the number one thing for him that doesn't show up in the stat sheet that I'm okay with, because it's going to make our numbers, quote unquote, look bad, but he has been playing phenomenal defense. They showed a stat of some of the best players in basketball he's been guarding, and their stat lines are trash when they face Isaac Okoro. That dude is a defensive superstar in the making, and that was the reason he got drafted. I know when they took him years ago, I was kind of like, this guy is not exactly what we need right now, which he wasn't at the time. He was a defensive player, not an offensive guy. And at the time, we're a young team that needs scoring. At the time, we had just lost LeBron. We had Colin Sexton going into year 2 or whatever, I think. So I'm like, these guys, not really a great fit. And then they end up being pretty damn good. Offensively, he's getting better. And that's the number one thing you can look at is the guy's been in the league now, Isaac Okoro. I think this is his, 4th year, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 3rd or 4th. And he's getting better. His shot's getting more consistent. His defense is getting better. So that's all you can ask for out of these young players. And that's what happened with like Darius Garland. I remember we drafted him and it was the year after Colin Sexton. So I'm like, okay, now we're going to have a battle of point guards. What's going to happen? Colin Sexton didn't really develop what they wanted him to be. Colin Sexton turned into an offensive guy when they drafted him because he was known for defense. His defense took a step back. Darius Garland came in as an offensive player and has only gotten better. He's turned himself into an all-star. He has turned himself into, if they didn't get Donovan Mitchell, the face of this team. So to see these guys develop, I think is a huge thing for me in the Cavs. Last year, especially when you make all these trades, you have these young guys, you have Evan Mobley, you've got Jared Allen. Injuries killed us, as everybody knows. But I think JB Bickerstaff develops these guys so fucking well. And adding a guy like Danny Green to that mix, I think is going to be huge.
I like it. I'm a fan. I'm excited to see where they work him in. He was the shoot around. I don't know if he's playing tonight or not, but he was.
I don't know. I was
going
to say I'm not really sure about what his health situation is. So
big game tonight, though.
Huge. So they're actually getting ready to. They tipped off an hour ago. I think we were getting our asses kicked last time I checked.
Oh,
actually, at one point I think we were down like 30-10.
Yeah, we're down by.
Yeah,
19.
we're down by 19.
Yep.
Yeah, 52-33 in halfway through the second quarter. Cavs are getting their asses handed to them by the Sixers, which isn't good because we're of course battling for seeding,
third spot right now
in the East, and the Sixers are right in front of us. And this game will not help that, to put it mildly. So, any surprise moves or any guys you were surprised didn't get moved with the deadline?
I'm surprised we did not make any moves. I'll be honest. I know that we talked about trusting Kobe Altman. If he didn't make a move, he did make a move. We're trusting the process. I really am surprised they didn't try to move Kevin Love at all, just to get something back in return, whether it be a veteran contract that we could dump off the books or something. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm just surprised the Cavs didn't make anything, any moves.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of am too, but at the same time, it almost looks like you don't want to fuck with things. The Cavs are good. We're not great. I've said it before on here. I hate to say it because I love Cleveland teams. I want them to always be great, but I don't think this Cavs team is ready to contend for a championship yet. I think they can in the future, but right now I just think they're a little too young. They need to mature a little bit and take that next step, all of them. Donovan Mitchell included. You've got guys, even Darius Garland last year, the star of the team. He was an all-star, turning into one of the better players in the NBA. Kind of took a step back a little bit this year. His numbers have been pretty inconsistent. As we joked about earlier with the gambling, you have a guy, albeit we won, the Spurs made the game relatively close at the end there. So in that situation, you would hope a guy like Darius Garland can hit some shots. He hit 0 threes.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's the end all be all, but when you're trying to be a superstar in this league, you can't go 0 from shooting. Like you just can't do it. It's not a good thing.
What about you? Anybody you're surprised didn't get traded?
Karis LeVert, I would say for the Cavaliers, Karis LeVert to me seemed like a dead man walking. He had been struggling quite mightily going into the trade deadline, so it kind of felt like perfect timing. Like here's a guy who shows he can play well, shows he can suck on any given night. He's got last year of his contract. The only thing I can think of though with him is that maybe they're behind closed doors. They're speaking to his agent or whoever and saying like, we want him to be back. The Cavs are way in over their heads financially. So there's not much they can do free agent wise. They don't have a lot of draft capitals or trade capital. So there's not a lot they can do move wise. The best thing they can do for the most part is keep their own. And maybe Karis LeVert is in their future. I'm not positive, but that would be my guess, is that maybe they're going to try to bring him back next year on a couple-year deal because you're allowed to go over the cap as long as you're keeping your own players. So my guess is they're looking to just keep the status quo. And that's why they didn't want to change things up too much and fuck with the contracts and fuck with the salary cap and things like that. Same thing with Kevin Love. I don't think Kevin Love would return to the Cavaliers next year, but I also feel like they don't want to do him a disservice of trading him to like the Pistons and then he just gets bought out and has to go find a new team.
Is he retiring after this year?
Depends on him. I feel like it's like the LeBron situation. When LeBron broke the scoring record last week, they asked him, they're like, how long can you keep going? And he's like, it depends on how long I'm mentally in it. He's like, my body, I could play forever. I take care of it. You know, he's like, I take care of myself, whatever. He's like, but once I'm not there mentally anymore, he's like, I'll probably call it. So it's kind of the same thing with Kevin Love. I think Kevin Love could still play at a high level if he wanted to. It's more so, is he mentally going to care?
Right.
He's now married. He loves New York and fashion and things like that. Maybe he has his eyes set on other things. He's filthy rich.
Yep.
It's not like he needs to keep playing for financial reasons.
Right.
I think he's more than set. Got himself a championship. I think Kevin Love is a Hall of Famer, no questions asked. So he's done everything you can do. He's won a gold medal. If he wants to hang it up, more power to him. I'd almost hope that he'd come back to the Cavaliers in some sort of front office fashion. I would be okay with that.
It's always funny looking at it's like a Tom Brady thing where you look at his rookie picture of what he looked like and what he looks like now.
All that weight that he lost.
Oh,
and he's a different person, honestly.
It's amazing looking at what he did.
And that's why his career has been so long and productive, because he was able to take care of himself. And he seems like the kind of guy, because he's such an advocate for mental health, I could see him coming back to any team, whether it be, because he loves New York. Maybe he goes and works for the Knicks or the Nets, or because he's from the upper Northwest, the Pac Northwest, whatever the fuck it's called, Pacific Northwest. Maybe he goes to the Trailblazers, or even stays in Cleveland. But I could see him being some sort of like player development guy, where he works with these young players and helps them like mentally prepare for the NBA and to be locked in and to like go, to deal with things.
I could see him doing that. I mean,
I think that would be a really good role for him.
He came out 3 or 4 years ago, just struggling with his mental health and how serious
he created
it was
the Kevin Love Foundation, and he is a huge advocate for mental health. So that's something that I could see him doing in his retirement, his post NBA years, still working with players, still being a part of the game, but being able to do it from his own terms and help play people. And I think that would be awesome for him. So, we're speculating, purely guessing. You never know what's really going to happen with him.
Reckless speculation.
I was surprised John Wall went back to the Rockets.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, he went back. That's a guy that, it's unfortunate. His career just never turned into what everybody thought it could be. And then, D'Angelo Russell goes back to the Lakers now. He gets to play with LeBron. I think that's a good fit. Him with AD, LeBron, I think it's a better fit than Russell Westbrook, if I'm being honest. And, kudos to Russell Westbrook. He's a guy who gets shit on a lot. And I don't think it's fair. I think the guy has been, from what I understand, a great teammate. He does everything he's asked. He was coming off the bench for the Lakers. Russ Westbrook was an MVP. He was a triple-double machine. The guy can score, he can pass, he can get rebounds, he can do everything on the court. And they were like, come off the bench. He was like, okay, never heard of Pete. Just a good teammate. I don't think the Lakers were a good fit. I did not like the trade when they did it a couple years ago. So seeing him get dealt is not surprising. It's just a shame that it didn't work out. It was kind of cool to think that LeBron and Westbrook would be playing together, and Anthony Davis, and they just never were able to do anything with it.
They're old man big three.
Pretty much. Yeah, they are the eldest of the big three by a long ways.
He's one of my favorite players, so I definitely wanted him to do well there. But
it's one of those situations where it sucks to see it not work out, but
they
gave it a shot.
When he played for the Thunder, I just thought he was just a stat hog. Like he was just doing it on purpose at the time.
I mean, I've always said this, and I'll die on this hill, and I think most people would actually agree with me, though, is when they traded James Harden to Houston, when they had KD, Westbrook, and Harden back then in Oklahoma City, I said right away, I'm like, they traded the wrong guy. They should have traded Russell Westbrook. I think Russell Westbrook was the guy holding them back from being a championship contender. As you said, bit of a stat patter, really fun to watch.
Sure.
But honestly, I've gone to games where Russ Westbrook was playing, and I've watched plenty on TV. And I always thought, like, if this guy was on my team, I'd be fucking furious at some of the shit he does. He chucks up some of the ugliest threes. You see guys like Steven Adams used to do it all the time. He'd box a guy out and just stand like this and let Westbrook grab the rebound for stats. And for me, I'm kind of like, get the fucking ball. Don't worry about Westbrook's stats.
Right.
Secure the ball. Let's win games. It's about winning. It's not about Russell Westbrook. But
just the times he's down there getting rebounds, like, what are you down there for? You should be getting back on defense right now.
It's because
or on offense, sorry.
It's just because he wanted to get those stats. Oklahoma City was not good once they lost KD and once they lost James Harden. So for Westbrook, and it's not his fault. You can only work with the talent you have. So for him, it was a situation of like, fuck it, I'm going to get an MVP. I'm going to break triple-double records. I'm going to do shit like that because I can. At the end of the day, we're not a good enough team to win championships, so I'll do whatever I can for myself. And it worked out. I mean, Russell Westbrook's a great player. Again, like Tim said, though, sad it didn't work out. Would have been cool to see that turn into some championships with LeBron. And I don't think he's going to get any in Utah. Call me crazy. I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, so the NBA trade deadline has come and gone, and I thought it was pretty active, way more active than I thought it was going to be. But again,
they waited to the end. But I mean,
oh my God, everything happened. Like the trade deadline was 3
p.m.
p.m. and I think everything came in at 2:59.
Yeah.
And then Danny Green gets bought out and immediately signs with the Cavs. So that's the cool thing about the NBA is the Cavs didn't have to give up shit. They just signed him. Just a contract.
Means he wanted to come here.
Yes. And I think he's going to be a really good veteran fit. So I'm really excited for that. And we'll see how that works out. Sticking to the NBA, I should say, and sticking with Utah, let's travel to Utah for All-Star Weekend. Saturday night, you have, I think Friday, did they still do the Rising Stars game or whatever the fuck it's called?
Yes, they do.
Rising Stars and Celebrity Game.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the Celebrity Game. Yeah, so I'm sure that shit's all
Celebrity game's
happening
always
on
fun to
Friday.
watch, though. I like watching that.
Yeah, it's a good time because you see guys where you're like, who the fuck is this? Or you see somebody where you're like, damn, I didn't know they could shoot. Like,
Yeah.
somebody can hoop. And like,
some like music artist comes out there
Yeah,
and like does
or
some
some,
cool
like,
crossover
B-list
and
actor.
dunks, yeah.
excuse me,
There
there's
you
a
go.
burp. I didn't have any of those last week,
Is
surprisingly.
when is the All-Stars? The next weekend?
This weekend.
Oh, this weekend. Okay.
Yep. So Friday night is the Celebrity Game and the Rising Stars, and then Saturday is All-Star Saturday night, and then the actual All-Star Game is Sunday night. Which are you guys actually going to watch it? I'm not.
I will watch it to start.
I'll watch. I want to see
I
the
want to
draft.
see the draft.
Yes, I do too.
That is it.
And then once the game actually tips off, I am changing the channel.
might
I will be
tune in-
watching The Last of Us.
I might tune in to the end of it just to kind of see because
Yeah, I'll check
it
the
gets
score.
it gets competitive in the last 5 or 6 minutes of the game.
Basically,
anyways.
quarters 1 through 3 are guys just doing whatever the fuck they want, and then sometimes in quarter 4, teams are like, "All right, let's play defense. Let's
Yeah.
try to win this game."
Right. That's the only time I'll tune in.
Yeah,
The
that's
draft
fair.
and maybe the end, and that's it. But other than that, no, I have no interest in Sunday.
Yeah, I've
Saturday is
lost
where-
interest in All-Star games. They're just not fun.
Saturday is where the fun's at.
Even with Major League Baseball, like the MLB All-Star game used to mean something. I loved it. Now that it doesn't, I don't really give a fuck.
I
if I'm
just
being
watched the
honest.
home run derby. That's all I did.
I watched the home run derby, and maybe I'll turn on the game if it's like, okay, Jose Ramirez is up to bat. Like, let me watch him. Or, Shane Bieber is going to pitch this inning. I'll check that out. Then as soon
Sure.
as it's over, done.
So whoever wins the All-Star game doesn't get home field advantage anymore?
No,
Yeah.
they stopped doing that like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
It's
Did you?
so
Speaking
shitty.
of All Star, not to get on a tangent, did you watch any of the Pro Bowl?
Squirrel!
Did you watch any of the Pro Bowl stuff?
Yeah, I did. I watched the games and shit that they did. That was all
Okay.
really fun. I thought that the craziest catch competition between Stephon Diggs and I forgot who the other one did who did the zip line over Fremont Street. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I didn't see it. No,
So it was J.C. Horn, I think, the corner from the Panthers. He zip lined on
Mister, I'm
Fremont
injured
Street.
this year and came through.
Yeah, he was healthy enough to zip line. As he was zip lining, they threw him a ball and he caught it on the zip line. It was pretty fucking cool.
Oh, the zip line
then-
that goes down
Yeah,
Fremont Street.
Down
Okay,
Fremont
cool,
Street.
yeah.
And then Stephon Diggs was laying in a pool on a pool float, talking on the phone and like holding a drink. And he like set everything down and he caught like 3 balls with his hands. And then he caught a ball between his legs while laying on a pool
Ah.
float. And he was like, vote for me for like coolest catch, whatever. I'm wondering, did it take them 100 takes or was that a 1-take deal? I would love to know. But either way, whatever they showed on TV, it was really cool.
That's awesome.
It was really impressive. If you get a chance, I recommend YouTubing those. They
I'll
were
go back
really
and
cool.
watch it. Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun. That shit was fun. They did watching Joel Bitonio do an egg toss, watching Joel Bitonio catch like 6 punts because they'd have you. I don't know if you saw that.
No,
So they had the jugs machine doing punts.
I didn't
and-
pay attention to any of the Pro Bowl shit.
So this was on like Thursday or whatever.
Okay,
This
no,
wasn't on
yeah.
Sunday. I didn't watch any of that shit. The flag football game. I had no interest in that. But they did it where the jugs machine went off and you catch one. Then the next guy comes and you catch one. If you catch it, you get to go again. If you don't catch it, you're out. If you catch though, you bring your ball with you and you have to now catch a second ball. And then you have to catch a third.
I'll have to go back and watch it.
I think Joe Bitonio got to like 4 balls almost until he finally dropped one. But to see an
Attaboy.
offensive lineman do that was fucking awesome. It was really cool.
That's
He
and
loves
honestly,
catching balls.
that's one of the things
That's why he's from Cleveland. Too.
that's harder to do than you think it would be.
no question, especially for an offensive lineman.
Like you think.
How often do you think he fucks around with a jugs machine and catching punts? Like hardly ever.
You
I'm
think
sure.
just sitting back and catching a football would be easy, but then like you see all these professional athletes drop the ball all the time.
all
Remember-
the time.
And you sit there and you think about it. Yeah, it's a big football, not a big football, but a football flying in the air. You don't know where it's going to go. You stand underneath it and you have to somehow bring it in and catch it. It's
Yeah, and they're
coming at a
doing
high
it,
speed.
For the first time on national TV, getting shown like the to the world, guy
Yeah.
like offensive linemen who you have no idea who most
And they
of them
misread, and half the time people misread it.
Yeah.
So you're either running backwards or you're trying to run up quickly and then you fall of your own feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
I'll have
Like
to
if you get a
watch it.
chance, check that out. That shit was cool. That was all on Thursday night. I didn't watch the game. I turned on for like a couple minutes just to kill some time. I saw Myles Garrett dislocated his toe. We didn't even talk about that last week.
Yeah, he limped off the field.
limped off the field because that's the other thing too. They did like
Marquette's up, by the way, by 1.
by 1. I need them up by 6. That would be helpful. But yeah, it was fun. It was okay. Nothing will compare though. I mean, obviously the home run derby is next level. And then for me, All-Star Saturday Night is where it's
Yes.
at. It used to be way more fun. The dunk contest has been really watered down over the years because there's just not much else you can do.
I need some big names in this dunk contest. I don't need these unknown scrubs.
The problem with it is, though, is you had guys like Birdman Anderson who dunked 100 times and took an hour. They had to change the rules. They're doing all this dumb shit. It's now becoming almost like embarrassing to where guys are like, I'm not doing that because I'm not embarrassing myself in front of everybody.
But then the thing that comes down to is like, what original idea do you have?
And that's it. There's nothing else left to do. Everything has been done that's physically possible. Like the dunks you'll watch this Saturday night, dollars to donuts, I'm willing to bet you're not going to see anything that's going to blow you away. You're going to see some dunks and the crowd's going to react. The announcers and the voters are going to act like
cut the lights to make it dramatic. Oh,
and they're
my
going to
God.
hold up like tens and be like, "Oh my God, it's over!"
They'll
They're going to be all crazy.
All
but
these old men who haven't dunked the ball in like 25 years.
it's
throwing up
not
signs.
going to be that good.
Here's an idea that I think they should do, and I love this. So, in spirit of this dunk's been done before. They should some giant spin wheel. You spin it,
And you pick a historic dunk.
and in any dunk that pops up that's been done, you have to do that, and you
I
get
like
graded
it.
off of that.
I like it, but do it to an extent because not everybody has the same athleticism.
Sure.
So
Yeah, like Michael Jordan's half court, like or half line,
yeah,
foul
the
line,
free
dunk,
throw
yeah.
line dunk is probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
The Vince Carter where he put his fucking forearm
Sure.
through it, that one probably could. Guys nowadays can jump out of the gym.
Yes.
Um,
But something like that to add a
Jason
little-
Richardson's like through the leg shit. Probably these guys could do it, I would think, or at least make them try. If you can't do it, it's almost do it like horse.
Yeah.
You spin the wheel, you get a dunk, you have to try to do it. If you don't get it, you get a letter.
B
Yeah.
for dunk.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I
Just
like
make
that.
it more interesting.
Guys, let's fuck Adam Silver. Call me. I got some fucking
Let's
ideas
make
for
it
you, dude.
interesting. I mean, just in the spirit of that these dunks have all been done before, just throw it up there and be like, hey, we're gonna go back to 1997 for this dunk. You have to pull
Like-
it off and show like a small video clip of it being done, and then they have to go do it.
Spoiler alert, unfortunately, we have plans this Saturday. Kyle and I, we are going to be over our friend's house. He's having
Yes.
a big get together in North Ridgeville. So we cannot attend Lucy's for Dave's going away party. However, if I was there, I would be trying to watch this All-Star Saturday night stuff. But at my friend's house, when the dunk contest comes on, I'm not going to care, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, probably not. But I'll watch the highlights though.
I'll watch everything else. And for shits and giggles, I do have an announcement, kind of. We waited till late in the show. Kyle's punishment has been decided. I'm not telling you guys what it is. I'm not telling you guys when it's going to happen. Maybe episode 101 in 2 weeks. You're going to have to tune in to find out. That would be on March 1st. So maybe not. You're going to have to find out. But his punishment has been decided. Tonight, however, we are going to, all three of us, be making picks for All-Star Saturday Night. But there it is. Because it's not a great event or anything that exciting. Like,
Sure.
I'm not going to put a punishment on it. However, actually, you know what? I will. And you know what? I'm
Hey.
inspired by a podcast I listened to, and today they did some stuff as a joke. That's actually something that I had thought about before as a punishment, but I never addressed it. So they kind of took my idea without actually stealing it because they had no idea that that was a thought in my head.
I don't
So-
believe you. Just kidding.
I mean, they probably did. They nowadays I don't wear a tinfoil hat like Conspiracy Carl, so maybe they did get my thoughts. But one of the things I thought of for a punishment was going to be the loser has to sing everything they say on our show. But then I thought 2 hours of one of us singing would probably be very painful to our listeners' ears, so I respect them too much.
Or it could
So-
be just watching Timbuktu's.
That's not a punishment. That's a great enjoyment. How
That
dare you
is-
talk bad about your show?
I'm talking
like
about
that, Tim.
singing. The
Oh,
singing,
I
the
thought you
host-
meant-
In Black History Month.
I thought honestly,
in Black
Tim,
History Month.
I thought what you said was they have to watch Timbuktu Tuesday as a punishment. That's why
like
I
they're
was like,
sitting
what
in
the
the corner
fuck?
with their eyes like wide open like this.
Orange, Clockwork
Clockwork
Orange.
Yeah, they're like
you cannot look
peeled
away.
open. Yeah.
You must watch Tim. But I mean, yeah, like I thought about that. Like you have to sing for an entire episode of something, which would be fucking funny. But I'll take a lesser version of that. So the punishment for these picks will be you have to sing ad reads.
Oh, I like that.
You like that idea? All
I like
right,
that.
and that goes for all three of us. Tim is of course included. Tim he'll get the sheet for ads, and he has to take it away. Kyle and I can chime in with our ads, or whoever the loser is. Everyone else will chime in with an ad or two, but the winners, I'm sorry, the loser will have to sing a majority of the advertisements, and the loser will have to sing the entire show schedule. How's that? That's the icing on the cake. You sing a couple ads, but you also have to sing the entire show schedule. There, you guys heard it here. That's the punishment. Nothing crazy, but it's just something for fun. So, without further ado, let's get to our picks.
That changes my
Now you
got to
really think about it now,
huh?
So All-Star Saturday Night starts off with the skills challenge. You have Team Antetokounmpo, which is Giannis, and Alex, all Antetokounmpos. The skills competition, of course, it's relay, passing, shooting. That's how it is. Everybody knows it. You run through the little things. You got to pass the ball into the or to the net. Then there's Team Jazz: Jordan Clarkson, Colin Sexton, Walker Kessler. Then there's Team Rookies, which is kind of intriguing. You have Paolo Banchero, Jabari Smith, and Jaden Ivey. Out of those three, as the previous winners of the playoff picks, Tim and I get to go first.
Oh, rub that in.
I will say you're allowed to pick the same thing because there's only 3 choices, so I'm not going to make somebody like get stuck with a shitty pick. So pick whoever you guys want. We'll go in multiple orders so people aren't just doubling down to make sure we have a tie. I think the 3-point competition is where we get difference in picks. For me, though, I will go first just to start us off. For the skills challenge, I am going to take Team Jazz.
That's a good pick. I thought about taking Team Jazz as well because I feel like they would do that for the excitement, like to bring more.
It's in Utah. Everyone's going to be excited. And looking at that team, Clarkson and Colin Sexton are really good basketball players. They can both pass. They can both shoot the ball really well. The rookie team, my worry is the lights are going to be a little bright. They're going to be in front of a huge audience. Their first time there. And then the Antetokounmpos, half those guys suck. It's Giannis is the only one worth a fuck. So I have to go with the team I think is the best, and I'm going with the Jazz.
Well, because you went Team Jazz, I am also no, I'm just playing. I'm not gonna pick them. I'm actually gonna go with the whatever's.
Wow, the Greek freaks, the Greeks. I'm calling them the Greeks.
I'm going with the Greeks because I love Greece. So,
all right, Greece, the country,
Crisco.
or Greece just food.
Team Crisco,
just greasy food.
Wow, that's So I looked at those lineups of who's playing on. I like the rookie team. I
do too. I was really intrigued by them.
Intriguing.
But for me, I know the end of it is like you have to hit a shot, and if it ends in a tie, there's like a half court shot involved.
Yeah.
And I was like, who's the best shooting group on here? Give me Sexton and Clarkson to hit some clutch shots over the rookies.
Yeah, I think with that, I think it's Team Jazz for me as well.
All right, Kyle is going to pick the Jazz in Utah, where they do not allow Jazz.
Team Jizz.
I wonder if Dave's moving there this weekend. Maybe he's at the All-Star game on Sunday night if he can. Well, I don't know how he's getting there. His car broke down. I don't know if he's flying anymore. I don't know what his plan is, but maybe he's there in time for the game. That'd be kind of cool. Next up, the 3-point competition. That is between Jason Tatum of the Boston Celtics, Kevin Huerter of the Sacramento Kings, Tyler Hero of the Miami Heat, Tyrese Halliburton and Buddy Hield of the Indiana Pacers, Damian Lillard, Anthony Simmons of the Portland Trailblazers, and hometown local hero Lauri Markkanen in the 3-point competition. I'll let any of you guys, whoever wants to go first. Actually, I'll let Tim go because Kyle was a loser of the playoffs. And I'm going to rub that in again. So, Tim, you get to go first, my friend.
I'm going to go Halliburton.
Tyrese Halliburton.
I don't think he's the best shooter out of the group, but I just think
if he gets hot.
Yeah, I think if he gets hot, he's going to do pretty good. Second pick will probably be Tyler.
Okay, that's fair.
I am going to go with the ex-Cav, Lauri Markkanen.
Okay. Kyle is going with Lauri. I am going to go. Give me Dame Lillard. I think Dame Lillard's going to shoot the fucking lights out in that place.
Dame Lillard.
Dame time.
He averages like 6 threes a game at this point in the NBA, so I'm just going to go with him. I feel like it's a safe bet. Now we get to the fun one with the slam dunk, where I have no fucking idea who to pick here. This is straight up just a guess, honestly. You guys know where we stand with the 3-point competition, as we just talked about. So it is between Jericho Sims of the New York Knicks, who you might be saying at home, and we will double down. Who? We say that on this show too.
In Black History Month?
Yes, in Black History Month.
Especially Black History Month.
And then in White History Month, you have Mac McClung. He's white as fuck.
Who?
So he is from technically the Philadelphia 76ers, but he's actually part of the Delaware Blue Horns or whatever the fuck they're called in the G League.
I think it's the Blue Coats.
Sounds good to me. Oh, that makes sense. Blue Coats, but the Philadelphia. Good call. Trey Murphy of the New Orleans Pelicans and KJ Martin of the Houston Rockets. Again, no fucking idea. The judges for the slam dunk contest are Jamal Crawford, Lisa Leslie, Karl Malone, Harold Miner, and Dominique Wilkins. Jamal Crawford, of course, everyone knows him for his great dunks in the NBA. The fuck they did. The guy shot threes, and he's a dunk competition judge. Are they running out of people to pick?
Michael Jordan was busy.
I mean, he did show up last year in Cleveland. I'll give him that. Last year's fucking All-Star weekend was phenomenal. That had some of the best the people that showed up, because it was the 75-year anniversary or something like that. Incredible crowd. So this Utah one's not even going to touch it. But Kyle, this is where you get to make your first pick.
I can go first. All right. So I really wanted to go with the way big underdog, the white boy, but I'm going to go with Jericho Sims.
Okay.
As the one to pull it off here.
Tim?
I'm going KJ Martin.
KJ? I am going to go only because I love the show It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. This guy is on the Philadelphia 76ers, and he happens to be named Mac. I'm going with Mac McClung just for shits and giggles because I'm putting that together because I like It's Always Sunny. Do I think he's going to win? Not a snowball's chance in hell. And even though he is as white as a snowball, I am still going to take him. And white men can't jump. I know that going into
What's
this.
the whitest dunk he can pull off, you think? Just a little
I think if he dunks while with glass, he puts glasses on, bifocals for, obviously you want to honor Ben Franklin, you play for the Sixers. Maybe he pulls out a notebook, he starts doing his taxes, and then he dunks while he's doing his taxes. I think that would be the whitest dunk you can do.
I like it.
While eating something with mayonnaise on it.
Yeah.
I think that would be very fitting.
I do.
I just don't know. He's only got two hands. I'm trying to think outside the box.
I do love mayonnaise.
I don't know what all he can do, but I don't think it's going to be good at all. And I'm not looking forward to it. But I'm picking him just because of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
He'll pull it off. He's going to pull a surprise off. He's going to pull some behind the back, over the legs, flip, dunk, and it's going to surprise everybody.
I hope so. I hope they do something really cool. I hope that when I get home, everyone's going crazy about shit, and I'm like, fuck, I wish I would have watched it.
Yeah.
I'll record it. If anything good happens, I'll go home and check it out. But I will not be watching it live. I can assure you that. You guys know what time it is now. It's the end of the show. It is officially time for Just the Tip. And we're going to start off, of course, with our friend Tim Buck Tuesday in Black History Month.
Black History Month. So, I've been doing Black History Month posts every day this month.
You have. They've been very informative, by the way.
Really? You've been watching them?
I've seen every one. Absolutely.
I appreciate y'all.
I try to like them all, too. I think, I'm giving you love.
Thank you.
I do what I can.
I definitely, I enjoy doing them. And I've been getting a lot of feedback, like just not a lot on the post, but just from people talking to like, oh man, I love the posts.
Hell yeah.
They're amazing. So I'm going to bring a Black person because it's Black History Month.
That's fitting.
I like this theme.
But it's actually a local artist. Her name is Anu Amani. She has an EP on Apple Music. It is called All Adam No Eve. I'm sorry, All Eve No Adam. I'm sorry, other way around. It's an EP. It's 5 tracks, but it's a nice groove. I really like it.
What's her name again?
Anu Amani.
Anu Amani.
Yes.
Awesome.
But not only am I bringing her EP into it, I actually want to talk about her being on Tim Buck Tuesday this week. And that's really the tip. I want you guys to watch Tim Buck Tuesday this week. It's going to be great. I'm going to be doing song association. If you're not familiar with that, essentially you give a word and the person has 10 seconds to sing a song or bring up lyrics from using the word that
I like that. That's a good idea.
It's going to be, I think it's going to be pretty fun. I think there's going to be a lot to talk about because her EP is really good. I really like it. And not because she's just cute, but honestly, because it's good music.
Hey, both things can be true.
They are.
Yes.
Both things are true.
Both things can exist.
Yes. But it's really cool. She's a really cool person. And you guys will really get to see her personality here on Tim Buck Tuesday.
Hell yeah. Check that out. At first, when you said an artist and you showed that picture, I thought you meant like she paints. And I was like, God damn, is that good? Like, no shit.
She might have painted that. I don't know if she did or not.
That looks good. If she did, kudos. That's even better. Like extra talent.
Yeah. She's a pretty good artist, though. I really enjoyed her.
Hell yeah. Definitely check that out. Tuesday night, 6 to 8. Check out Tim Buck Tuesday, Redline Radio. He always has good guests, and they're always just talking. That's the best part about it.
I love it.
And now, Kyle.
So, this show is all about golf, right? We love golf.
Actually, well, spoiler alert, we'll give the news. Episode 101 in 2 weeks. We are having Kyle's friend Jared will be on to talk golf. He is the commissioner of Kyle's golf league.
Your wife's league too.
That's the only reason he's allowed on, because my wife and father-in-law are a part of it. Otherwise, not. No, I'm just kidding. But no, we are having Jared on in 2 weeks. He will be here to talk about that and to hang out and talk sports.
Potentially here to witness the punishment as well. Potentially, maybe.
Potentially, we'll see.
But so big golf fan as I am, today the 15th dropped on Netflix a documentary, docu-series, I guess you could call it. But Netflix was granted access behind the scenes to follow the PGA all of last year. And they did I think it's 8 or 10. I just started watching one episode today, but it's really good. And I wanted to get it on here because I think as golf fans, everyone's going to love this. So they follow a lot of the major players. So like Justin Thomas, Rory McIlroy, Tiger Woods is on there a little bit. He doesn't really do much talking, but he's on there. Jordan Spieth. A lot of these players, they'll follow them around through the 4 majors of last year. And the real big reason why this is worth watching now is because we all know most of us know the LIV Tour took off last year, right? A lot of the PGA X players moved to the LIV Tour, got paid a lot of money from Saudi Arabia and started their
Dirty oil money.
Dirty oil money. So that's talked about a lot in there. So this is amazing. I love what I've seen so far. I can't wait to watch more of it tomorrow or Friday because I have bowling tomorrow. But give it a watch if you love golf, if you love documentary type stuff. A lot of behind the scenes stuff. With golf, you don't get to see a lot of behind the scenes stuff. A lot of people talking shit to each other, getting into fights, arguments, kind of just getting, what goes into getting ready for a PGA championship. It's insane. So if you get a chance, watch it. The episodes are an hour long. But if you're a fan of golf, you will be a fan of this. And what did Brett say?
He said, Kyle Price. Oh, there we go. I was going to say, Kyle Price beat me Sunday in golf. He brought 3 shots 3 or 4 times for the whole group. This guy is a stud. Love you, bud.
Thanks, Brett. We just met. Brett just joined the MGA this week. We had our first outing at X Golf on Sunday before the Super Bowl. That's why I was not very sober for the Super Bowl.
That'll happen.
But we did a lot of drinks. They had green tea shot specials. So
classic.
Those were flowing pretty,
as they should,
pretty evenly throughout the day.
I was more intrigued to the betting. I thought he said you bet him stuff. I was like, oh, tell me more.
No. I usually only bet you and I lose to you, so it's okay. But it was a good time.
Good. That's awesome. I'll be sure to never watch that.
I was say you'll never watch it, but I'm sure maybe Tara likes it.
To show you guys how much respect I have for just the tip. You know how many times I bit my tongue there? I wanted to talk shit when you were like, I think there's 10 or 8 episodes. I was gonna be like, hopefully 8. Like I was ready to just have like a snarky comment to everything you said, but I bit my tongue because I'm nice.
I appreciate that.
I held it all in. I'll wait till after. But so my tip for this week is my favorite comedian, as you guys know, Louis C.K. He did a special in January. He filmed at Madison Square Garden. He told everybody he wanted to just go back one more time because he was arguably the top comedian in the world, and then his scandal shit came out and he kind of got canceled. He's trying to make a comeback. And he said basically that he did not appreciate playing Madison Square Garden as many times as he did. He did a bunch of podcasts and said basically like, I would literally just take the subway because he lives in New York. He's like, I would just take the subway, get off, go in there, do a show, and then go home. He's like, that's it. He's like, I really want to just enjoy this one. So he's like, I'm doing one more. And he did like the big circle stage to where everyone could see him and everything. It was a cool setup. If I'm being honest though, I'll be blunt. Not my favorite special of his.
How long was it?
He performed overall. The special was like 2.5 hours, but his set alone, because it shows his openers, his set was like an hour 20, give or take. Wasn't too long, pretty standard. It had funny moments. I'm not saying it wasn't funny, but it just wasn't his best. This was a special you could only get on louisck.com. It was $25. You only get it for, I don't know if you can still buy it. You could take a look. I'm not sure. But it was only for a few weeks. It was a short run. And then he recorded all of the same material to perform at a different stage, recorded it, and it will be put on the website. He does everything on his own, louisck.com. I think in April he said it would be on, but I'm impatient. I wanted to see this material. I wanted to see this special, so I bought it. It wasn't bad, but if it's still available, check it out. If it's not, then check it out in April. I'm sure I'll use it as a tip again that time because I'll buy it again because I love Louis. So check it out. Louis C.K., my favorite comedian.
Is he going to come back and do like a show again or something like that?
I thought I was your favorite comedian.
Oh,
you're my favorite.
In Black History Month.
You're my favorite comedian that I know. How's that? Is that fair?
That's fair. But has there been talks of him come back and do like a show?
Like a TV show?
Yeah, I love the Louis C.K. show. It was great.
Highly unlikely because I don't think any networks will touch him after the scandal.
I mean, even after that, it's been years now. He's,
if anything, because he makes a lot of money on his website, so he'll put like his specials up there for like $10, and he's like, just buy it. You can watch it as many times as you want. $10, and he makes a killing doing that. So I'm sure if he shows those numbers to people like networks and shit, they might be like, yeah, we'll take a chance. Like,
I'm surprised
with
like
how many streaming services there are
like
out
a Paramount or a Netflix or HBO Max, whatever's taking a chance and put like a raunchy type show and played into.
He also might just not have any
character.
interest in it now. He's like in his 50s. He already did it. He won Emmys for Louis, which I think is a phenomenal show. Truthfully, not just because I love Louis. I think it was just a really good show. He had Lucky Louie on HBO way back in the day that only lasted one season. but I think he's kind of done everything that he wants to do. He did that Horace and Pete show that can be seen on Hulu if you've never seen that.
No,
with him and Steve Buscemi. That's more of a drama. They play brothers that own a bar. It's called Horace and Pete. Check that one out on Hulu if you get a chance. Really good show, really good drama. Only did one season, but it was good. So check it out. I love Louis C.K. everything he does. So check it out. And that's gonna do it. On behalf of everybody here at Talking About Balls, I hear your mom's going out with Squeak. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you in 2 weeks. See ya.
2 weeks.
Redline Radio LLC is proud to partner with